Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. And a nice listener sent me this huge box. Maybe I'll show it later. It's waiting here for me at the radio. Annette from New Hampshire. Maybe we'll look at that a little later. All right, here we go. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. All right, it certainly is. My name is Brian. This is Florida's longest running radio show, the Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. All right, we've got a lot to cover. Holy smokes, do we have a lot to cover today. And I don't know how many people are kind of on vacation. On I-95 this morning, it was a ghost town. It was a ghost town. But, hey, listen. There's no holidays in radio, okay? We work every... Do you have to work on Christmas, Mike? Oh, isn't that nice? Yeah. You know, when I was a board op, you know what I used to tell... You know what I used to tell them, the station manager? I'm not advising you to do this. Don't take career advice from me, okay? But I would say, well, why don't the Jewish board ops work on Christmas? Why do I got to work on Christmas, right? Exactly. Do we have any Jewish board ops? Yes, there we go. All right. Yes, that's a little tip. It's true. I mean, unless you want to work on Christmas. All right, listen, guys, welcome. We've got a lot to cover, a lot to get in. I'm not making that up. I'm serious. I'm serious. I'll work on the Jewish holidays, and they can work on Christmas and Easter. All right, we do have a lot to cover, and I'm going to jump right into it. Now, today is Friday, which is Open MAGA Mic Friday, meaning it's open phones. The show prep is up to you all. In the listening audience, you can call in about any and everything on your mind. You don't even have to comment on the things we bring up. If you're on hold, stand by. The number's toll-free, 888-465-2631. However, there are some things I want to bring up here early on before I go to the phones. And one of them is this. Do I have to say this every time? The alleged assassin of Charlie Kirk. I don't want to say his name all the time, Tyler Robinson. So, but everybody says alleged assassin. Everybody. Didn't he confess? This next year is an important year. A lot of times people ask me about the show and listening cycle. Midterm election years are kind of like the Super Bowl all year long. And then the presidential election year is like the World Cup for about a year and a half. What I mean is about excitement and momentum that's going on. But that's different this time. 2026 is the most important midterm election that this country has had since the Civil War, because if President Trump loses the House of Representatives, they're going to impeach him every single week. You know that, right? That's all they're going to do. The entire agenda will be stopped. And I'm going to cover a lot of things here on the program today, but I want to first talk about the alleged assassin of Charlie Kirk. Even though it was reported he confessed, turned himself in, drove with his daddy to the police station and said he did it. So I don't know why we got to say alleged, but everybody's saying alleged, so that's what I'm going to say for now. This smiling in court act that he was pulling yesterday, it is disgusting. And I listened to some of the analysis of it, and a lot of people have been saying things like, well, he's crazy. Well, most everybody in prison's crazy. If you commit a capital crime, you're not a sane person when you take another person's life like that, unless it's in self-defense. So no, that's not it at all. I don't think that he's crazy. I think this is a very calculated strategy, and I'll tell you what I mean. The first thing that popped in my mind when I saw this monster in the courtroom yesterday, smirking and smiling and yucking it up with his lawyers, you know who he reminded me of? Tim McVeigh, the Oklahoma City bomber. Any of you guys remember this? he got the death penalty, and I tell you, he got executed pretty fast for a death penalty case. Usually those things can take 30 years, things like that. I don't remember how long it was, but it didn't take as long as a normal death penalty case. And Tim McVeigh was, and also, I'll tell you, Bundy too did this, but Tim McVeigh did exactly what Tyler Robinson is doing. What Tim McVeigh did with his lawyers is he did nonstop jailhouse interviews. They were on TV every day for quite a long time. And the purpose of those interviews, he was trying to save his life and get the death penalty off the table. And if I remember correctly, but memories about things like this can be different than what you remember. I remember him he was wearing a prison jumpsuit, but for some reason I want to say it was a white prison jumpsuit. I could be wrong about the jumpsuit color, but I think it was a white. And if you don't remember this, or if you're not old enough to remember these Tim McVeigh interviews, go and look them up after 9 a.m. Don't do anything until 9 a.m. except watch and listen to me. And when he would do these jailhouse interviews, they were mostly no audio, kind of like yesterday, and it was just him smiling and yucking it up with his attorneys. Like he was just a guy having a beer that blew up the Oklahoma City Governmental Center and killed 168 people. And what he was trying to do was humanize himself. And what this monster did in the courtroom yesterday was an extension of that. I saw a body language expert, and I read an article from a body language expert, and they're full of it. They said the body language expert said that it looked like he doesn't really know his lawyers, that there's not a lot going on there. They're not very familiar with each other. What happened in that courtroom yesterday was what I would call the Tim McVeigh strategy. Ted Bundy did it in a different way. He did a lot of interviews from the prison in Stark here in Florida, and he was trying to save his life too. And he would do these interviews, and he was like a nice guy. Well, of course he was a nice guy. He was able to seduce women to get into his car, and then he would hit them over the head and kill them, right? I mean, he was charming, but he's trying to look charming, Tyler Robinson, to garner sympathy. And it has not worked. Didn't work for Bundy, and it didn't work for Tim McVeigh. And I remember talking on the air with callers after I was in high school when Bundy got killed. Okay, I remember, was executed. I remember that well. But when Tim McVeigh was executed, I remember talking about it on the air that week, and people were calling in and like, I can't wait for him to be executed so we can stop seeing him smiling on television. And then after he was executed, McVeigh doesn't seem like a big deal now, but it was at the time. And after Tim McVeigh was executed, what people would say, and I remember getting calls about this, and people in the media, well, we don't have to watch him smile and yucking it up anymore in those prison interviews because he's dead. It ended that. Yeah, it did. It's terrible. Now, this guy, I'm looking at the clock, and I got to tell you that I have to stay on time to the minute on today's program, or today's program is going to be a disaster, okay? Because we got a lot going on here as we're in the Christmas season. So I'm going to have to interrupt myself in mid-thought, and hopefully I don't lose my train of thought. If you're on hold, stand by. The number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. I was talking to Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire yesterday. I got to look for his phone number here, because if all the commercials you hear me do pretty much are from the top of my head because I use everybody. But I have a list of phone numbers so I don't give out people's cell phone numbers. I've done that a couple times. I gave out Steve's cell phone number once, and I gave out one of our sponsors' cell phone number once off the top of my head, so I always have to look for the numbers. But I was talking to Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire yesterday, and he told me a lot of you have been coming in for the Christmas present tires. Let me tell you, new tires for anyone in your family or on your gift-giving list is a great Christmas gift. Everyone loves new tires. And at Friendly Tire, when you can get new tires out the door and on the road for as low as $75 a tire, wow, what an affordable Christmas gift to your adult children, your parents, your mom, your dad, grandma, grandpa. Get them new tires from Friendly Tire. And when I say as low as $75. I don't want you to think that I'm talking about Fiat tires that are just a little bit bigger than a golf cart tire. No, these are tires, new tires, that are on some of the most popular vehicles on the road today. Very common sizes, $75, as low as a tire. And remember, at Friendly Tire, that's the out the door and on the road price, because Friendly Mike does not charge you to mount, balance, or dispose of your old tires. Give Friendly Mike a call, 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. That's 954-977-9445. We'll be right back. All right. Nope. All right. We are in break. I'm at the radio station today, guys.
Hey, it's Scott on the radio, reminding you that your favorite oldies are back on the air right after 10 a.m. this morning, right here on the True Oldies channel.
When you need lab work, don't waste hours and hours waiting at the doctor's office or one of those programs. Go to any lab test now with Boca at any lab test.
Welcome, everyone. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll get to the phones in a bit. I want to just finish my thought on Tyler Robinson, the Charlie Kirk alleged assassin, and then I'll go to the calls. I got a lot to cover today. I've got a crazy day today. My wife got me a massive bag. It's like this big of like my favorite thing. I don't buy these very often. Jolly Ranchers. Oh my goodness. I got a pocket full of them. I love Jolly Ranchers. One of my guilty pleasures.
Tingling in my hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching have all but disappeared. Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
This past year has been one of the hardest in my pillow's history. It's because of you that we're making it through the year. We want to thank you for your continued support and passing on some Christmas specials to our listeners. Get the Children's Bible Story Pack, 5-pack, for just $29.98. Get the My Slippers with a free bottle of leather protectant spray for $39.98. Blankets, comforters, and duvets for as low as $25. And a blowout sale on the standard My Pillows for just $14.98. So go to mypillow.com or call 1-800-716-4879 and use the promo code KANE to take advantage of these wholesale prices, including the standard size My Pillow, originally $49.98, now just $14.98. Queens, $18.99. Kings, only $1 more. So go to mypillow.com, use our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, or call 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE for huge savings on your Christmas shopping.
This is Dr. Philip Appleton. I'm a chiropractic physician.
All right.
I've seen thousands and thousands of patients in my career. I've been a chiropractic physician here in Pompano Beach for 40 years. We're open 6 days a week. If you have sciatica, you have bursitis, you have tendonitis, you're tired of taking the pills, the drugs, the injections, and you heard that you have to live with it, well, there's a lot of times you don't have to live with it. I've had great, great, great success with helping people. My testimonials are...
Have you guys seen my Trump belt?
They love the treatment.
This is the most cool belt. My wife got me this belt for Father's Day. It's a good belt. I don't wear it too much because it's so nice. I don't want to spoil it.
Shockwave therapy I do, open 6 days a week. Come in for the free consultation and be willing to look at you and help you.
Take advantage of the no-charge consultation with Dr. Appleton. Remember, appointments are not necessary and walk-ins are welcome even on Saturdays. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
Alrighty, we're back. I'm Brian, the Steve Kane Show. If you're on hold, stand by. Let me finish my thought with this alleged assassin and the smiles. This is not insanity. Almost all killers are crazy. I mean, you know, come on. It's a strategy to get sympathy, like Luigi, the healthcare CEO killer. And the original thought with the trial of Tyler Robinson, which looks like it's going to be televised, and I'll be following it and watching it, is that it would wake people up as to how evil this guy is. And I'm telling you, it could very well go the opposite. You know, we know that Democrats, we know that liberals have a fetish for the most violent criminals. Their governors like to let criminals out of prison to go and rape and murder people. Then they get arrested. They let them out without bail after they do this. I mean, it's nuts. So while you and I that are normal people are going to be disgusted and maybe not even want to watch the trial because it's going to be too disgusting, to liberals it's like food. And they are going to read it in a completely opposite direction. And they think, remember they said that Charlie Kirk, it's his own fault that this guy did this. They're going to be sympathetic to this guy. They're going to be sympathetic to him. I already see it happening. And to his lifestyle and his transitioning boyfriend, and you know, Charlie Kirk made them feel like this and made them feel like that, and these MAGA Nazis make them feel uncomfortable, so they, you know, they're going to justify the assassination, and the media are going to talk about it. And now that they got a guy that's smiling and everything, they're really going to like it. Even though he's gay, he'll probably get a lot of liberal girls who want to like marry him, like that Luigi lunatic. And the left have a history of this. They did it with the Boston bomber. Remember, they put a photograph of him he was on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine, the Boston bomber, and they had a photograph of him where he was posed like a famous photograph of Jim Morrison. All right, let's go to the phone. I got a lot to cover, but it is open phone, so let's see what you guys got. Okay, is the delay on, Mike? You always want to ask. Okay, yeah, hope so. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Karina. I'm calling from Coconut Creek.
All right, Coconut Creek. What's on your mind?
I'm just calling to say that we had an awesome holiday party yesterday at the Wings Plus in Coral Springs on Sample.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they were amazing to us. The food was great. The decor was beautiful. The service was outstanding. And I just wanted to share that with your listeners because I hear all of your sponsors. And again, this place was amazing. And I suggest them to anybody for lunch or dinner or holiday parties. Amazing. So I just wanted to thank you and them for their service.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, take care. All right, that's Wings Plus, the Sample Road location. It's in Coral Springs, about a mile west of University Drive, on the south side of Sample Road. This is the only radio show where the listeners do commercials. It really is. It's, you know, it's really awesome. I appreciate it, guys. All right, take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Kevin from Chicago. How you doing?
You're from where?
Chicago.
Oh, Chicago. Hey, what's up, Chicago?
Oh, nothing much, man. I just feel like I've been listening to you for years now, and it's just refreshing to hear somebody speak truth to power, tell it like it is, and not afraid of the pushback. So I gotta really respect that about you. What do you think?
Oh, well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, my point here
Here we
is
go. Watch.
I've
the
been
setup.
following this Charlie Kirk conspiracy theories, and I'm done with it. I don't really care about the conspiracy theories. What we need to focus on is what he was talking about is the Jewish donors trying to blackball him.
See, didn't I tell you?
And
Didn't I tell you he's going to have
about
this? Really? The Jewish donors?
that Jewish donors were leaving him.
The leaked text? The leaked text?
Yeah, they left him for $2 million.
You know, Erica, as soon as he said I said to people watching online off the air, you know, when this guy was complimenting, I said, watch, here we go, right? I mean, you know, I got a BS detector here. Erica Kirk has Charlie's cell phone. None of these texts, nobody has access to these text messages. Erica Kirk has his cell phone. So how did his text messages get out from these Jewish donors if his wife has the cell phone?
I mean, leaked text messages get out all...
No. Erica Kirk has been in possession of Charlie's cell phone this whole time. So how did his private text get leaked out? His widow's leaking out text about Jewish donors?
Out. How does anything get
Well, to leak it out...
messages, emails.
Well, this is the way things get leaked out. As an example, right now, Tom Homan was on television last night. I can't remember if it was Fox or Newsmax. By the way, guys, look for me on Newsmax this weekend. You'll see me all dressed up in a tie and a jacket. Okay. Yeah, I was on Newsmax, and it'll air over the weekend, and we were talking about President Trump's great work in the fentanyl crisis and the war on drugs. Don't miss it. The things get leaked out. Tom Homan was on TV yesterday and was talking about the ICE leaks, like where the raids are going to be. He said they came from the FBI, right? So somebody in the FBI with operational knowledge has given out information, which is a crime, and he's going to arrest them. For someone to leak text messages of Charlie Kirk, they would have to be in possession of his cell phone, which his wife has been in possession of the whole time. So unless she's doing the leaking, no one has access to the information to leak it. People are making things up that don't like Jews, like you.
Outgoing text messages, though.
Oh, okay. So these Jewish donors are leaking their text to Charlie?
No, the people he sent the message to.
Who?
Candace Owens for
Oh, Candace. You can't believe anything Candace Owens says.
which she definitely been known to tell the fibber to.
Yeah, okay. Other than Candace Owens, what is the point you're making? That you're an anti-Semite and you hate Jews?
No. It doesn't do with Jews. It's about disproportionate amount of power in foreign policy.
Jews have a disproportionate power. You know, I was talking yesterday with a caller. I asked a question yesterday that and I gave the answer to it, but maybe, excuse me. All right, well, who has the power? Who has a disproportionate amount of power?
Zionists.
That's the same thing. That's Jews.
No, there's
Yes.
Christian Zionists.
I know. Yeah. I know. No, you're talking about Jews.
You're probably a Christian Zionist.
Oh my goodness, I support Israel. Yeah. You know, are you a Christian? All right, let me ask you that. Hold on. Are you a Christian?
Yes, Catholic.
You're Catholic. I'm Catholic too. So you accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior? He died on the cross and was born again?
Absolutely.
You're aware that Jesus is a Jew, right?
Yes, you're aware that Jews reject Jesus.
No. Steve Kane is a Jew and he is a Christian. Jews don't reject Jesus. Some may not be Christians.
Jews reject Jesus fundamentally.
No. You're wrong. No, it's not. It is not. That is not the basis of Judaism. Where do you learn this at?
Whole ideology.
Where do you get your information? From the Fiery Cross? Are they still printing? That's the KKK newspaper.
Clueless. Boomer ideology is going down.
Boomer? How old do you think I am? A boomer? Donald Trump's a boomer.
Yeah, and the complete apex control of both parties is on the way down. People are waking up. People like Nick Fuentes are...
Oh, people like Nick Fuentes. Yes.
See through it.
What? Yeah.
Through it.
If you saw through anything, you'd be more in. Who?
Voice and people buying Paramount. It's a complete joke. These people are joke. Tucker Carlson is speaking truth to power. Calling it out.
Yeah.
A few years ago, you would have been agreeing with him with everything, but now he's calling it out. Probably you're calling him a kook now, right?
No. He's probably a CIA operative.
Oh, okay. He's not.
Now, but let me ask you, the murder capital of the United States. You're living in a high crime area. Plus, it's freezing. It's like.
No, I'm living in the Polish, Irish.
Yeah, but you're still in Chicago. Chicago's got a lot of problems. It's overrun by illegals. It's run by Democrat idiots, the entire state, the city and the state. And you're sitting around worried about Jewish control of Paramount and Netflix? What's the matter with you?
What do you think the governor of Illinois is? Pritzker, hardcore Zionist.
Oh.
Completely, everything wrong.
Let me ask you, can you tell me a problem in our nation that is not the fault of Zionist?
Yeah, liberal white women.
Okay, that's a problem. But every other problem is the problem of Zionist. Women and Zionist. All right, hey, listen, I got to run. Oh, boy. Another great Christmas gift. It is Open Phone Friday, guys. Open Mags gift. And this is a really good one. This is this great new offer from Sloman's Home Security. Sloman's is offering a free home security system with free professional installation, as well as 24/7 central station monitoring for just $24.95 a month for 5 years. Get this. for yourself in your own home, for your family. Get this for your mom and your dad. Get this for your adult children or grandma or grandpa. This is a great thing. That's right, just $24.95 a month for 5 years. The free home security system and professional installation is absolutely free. Your Sloman's home security system includes a touchscreen keypad. Oops, slip there. We'll leave that one off the air checks, Mike. Your free Sloman's home security system includes a touchscreen keypad, 3 door or window sensors, a motion detector, notification, and remote keypad. All right, give them a call no matter where you're located. This makes a great Christmas gift. 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. That's 833-283-5050. We'll be right back. Oh. Oh, man. If you're on hold, hang in there.
Low of 71 degrees. On Sunday, a chance of showers and a high of 78 degrees. And on Sunday evening, a slight chance of showers and windy, a low of 68 degrees.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Forest Hill Boulevard and Haverhill Road, there's construction, road work, military trail at 10th Avenue North. Spot something on the roads, call the traffic tip line. Pound 250 keyword westbound traffic. I'm Rob Hosey.
That's your traffic brought to you by PBKC. This Sunday, December 14th, come out for PBKC's Sports Car and Memorabilia Show with great vendors, free admission, full walk, free parking, sports TVs to watch all the NFL action, and James Spence authentication. And don't miss the Feasted Football Buffet in the Paddock Restaurant every NFL Sunday.
Oh, boy.
Plus, make it a full day with poker high-hand promotions and tournaments, table games.
If you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, the number's pinned in the live chat.
This is Mark Laporta, son of Tom Laporta and proud second-generation owner of Laporta Roofing. As a military veteran who served in the Army after 9/11, I've brought the same dedication and discipline to our family business. At Laporta Roofing, we've been serving our community for nearly 4 decades, and we're committed to continuing that legacy of excellence. Our team specializes in all types of roofing systems, from shingles to tile, slate, metal, and flat roofs. We're the go-to experts for single-family homes, HOA communities, and condo associations. What sets us apart is our unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. I've personally implemented systems to ensure you receive the best in customer service and workmanship. Don't miss out on our limited time offer for a free roof inspection. Call us now at 954-604-4602 or visit us at laportaroofing.com.
That is very strange.
Protecting homes like yours for generations.
Oh, man.
954-604-4602.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Sandra. I'm calling from Delray Beach. The Barry Siegel Law Group did such wonderful work for me, and I was very particular. I'm a professional myself, and I went to about 3 or 4 attorneys prior. They wanted to do what they wanted to do. They didn't want to add anything extra, but Barry tailored it to my needs. And it's not only the trust. There's so many other end-of-life documents, the living will, the will, and I tailored each one of them to my liking, and they were wonderful and always, always polite. Never showed any aggravation, or because I contacted them many times. Always polite. And not only that, when you finish your documents and you leave this world, your beneficiaries could go there and they'll explain everything to them, which is a big deal because a lot of these beneficiaries or heirs, they're not cognizant of what to do. I just wanted to let you know that the Siegel Group is above and beyond any other attorney that I have ever contacted. Plus, they give you a big portfolio at the end with a leather-bound documents. It's beautiful.
Give the Siegel Law Group a call, 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 49.
All right, if you're on hold, stand by. I'm Brian, Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. You know, this morning I went to the Starbucks down the street of the radio station, and I'm walking in the parking lot, and this woman, she rolls down her window. It's just weird stuff happens. I attract weird things. She rolled down her window, and she says, "Nice belt." And I'm like, what is she talking? And I'm wearing my Trump. My wife got me this Trump belt. I don't know if it was for my birthday or Father's Day. She got it for me for a gift, and I don't wear too much. And I forgot about it, and she was looking at my belt, and she's like, wow, you know. I was like, oh, I looked down, I'm like, belt, and I forgot I had it. I was like, oh, okay. But I'm thinking, how hard was she looking to see that it said Trump on the belt? I mean, it's not, you know, where was she looking? I don't know, but it's kind of a funny thing. And usually when I go to Starbucks, I go kind of undercover because I don't want them to know I'm at. And the Starbucks that I went to today is the one that I went to a couple months ago with my MAGA hat on. I usually don't wear my MAGA hats when I go to Starbucks because, you know, they could give you a decaf, and, you know, there was one person that worked at a Starbucks down in Boca. And they were transgender, and they always would. I get the venti hot blonde Americano. They would always tell me no matter what they were out of blonde, which I didn't believe. But you know that's how it goes. But then I went in there and I'm like, oh well, if she noticed the belt, I'm going to out myself. This is the one I went in with my Trump 2028 hat in a couple months ago, and the barista in there like had a freak out. You would have thought I came in with a pistol, like I was robbing the joint. She was so upset. They're very liberal at Starbucks. But anyway, that's that. Okay, if you're on hold, hang in there. Another thing I want to talk about is this before we move on to some other things, okay? The midterms. Jesse Waters on Fox, he was on the 5 this week, and he says, well, the Democrats have the midterms locked up. We're going to lose. What's that about? I mean, why do that? What's he doing? And I'll tell you this is what I think it is. Now, obviously, historically, the trend is whatever political party is in power loses control in the midterms. This is a historic thing. There's only been a couple of times, and I don't even remember when it didn't happen. And I get that, okay? But why say that? And here we are, you know, we've got this big year ahead of us. Why call the game before it's over? Right? Before it even has begun. Because this is a midterm like no other. And you're going to see a lot of people. I've seen this already with some of the MAGA media people. Oh, well, the Democrats are going to win. They're going to win if you talk like that, right? You know, if I've been telling you guys all week long, if we get a massive turnout at the polls on election day and get a good early vote strategy going like we had in the presidential election, we will maintain control and gain seats in the Congress. If you spend the entire year like Jesse Waters telling people that the Democrats are going to win, they are going to win and we're going to lose because you're going to depress the turnout. Now with Jesse Waters and some of the others that talk like this, a lot of people that, you know, do shows, they're obsessed with being right. So it's the safe fence sitter bet to say that the Republicans are going to lose in the midterms. So if they make that prediction, they won't be wrong. You know, I don't care if I'm wrong. I'm wrong. We need to fight for it. And if we have a massive turnout, we will win the midterms and gain. It's possible. It's likely if we have a good turnout. Remember, Mamdani only won because the media. Well, Curtis Sliwa played a big part. That jerk, but. Even without Sliwa, he probably would have won. The turnout on Election Day in the mayoral race, which was the most high-profile mayor's race in New York City in decades, was, what, 16%? And Mamdani won in part because of Curtis Sliwa and his stupidity and narcissism, but mainly because everyone in the media, including conservative media, said he's unbeatable, Mamdani, so it depressed the turnout. Depressing the turnout is how they will win. And in fact, that may be the entire Democrat strategy, is try to reduce our turnout by convincing everyone that the midterms are hopeless. I don't agree with that at all. Okay, I don't agree with that at all. And it's not just Congress that's up for grabs. There's a lot of governors that'll be up. You don't want to lose those, and the state houses will be up. And we need to maintain control and gain, really, but we need to at least maintain control for a lot of reasons. One, we need to get as many judges on the benches appointed by Trump as possible. There's a good chance that Clarence Thomas is going to retire during President Trump's second term here because he wants to be replaced by someone like him, not some liberal lunatic, right? By some Democrat in the future. So, you know, he wants to do it while we've got a Republican president for sure in office. You know, try to get someone through a confirmation with a Democrat-controlled Senate for the Supreme Court of the United States. It may be impossible. All they'll do is obstruct everything that is going on right now. So that defeatist loser talk, it really ticks me off. You know, and also a lot of these people, I've been thinking about this yesterday. Someone left a comment for me online about yesterday's show. I'll tell you who it was. A regular listener, Shauna, who's a regular listener. She doesn't call in, but Shauna, she came by the radio station once and brought me coffee a couple years ago. I didn't have any coffee for whatever reason that day, and I was going through withdrawals, and she brought me coffee. She's very nice. And she's like, enough about Candace Owens and all this stuff, you know? And you know, and I saw what she said, and I was thinking about that. And I'm not saying I'm never going to talk about Candace Owens, don't get me wrong. But we have a lot of very destructive people. A lot of times you hear people, they all the time will say a particular news story is a distraction. Oh, this distraction, that distraction. You know, what distractions usually mean is that particular person's not interested in that story. So anything they're not interested in, they can consider a distraction away from what's important, which is the story they like. Now, I don't think these stories are a distraction. I think they're important. However, there are very destructive, poison people out there. One of them is Marjorie Taylor Greene. Did you see the photos of her with the Code Pink ladies? I was looking at these yesterday. I mentioned them on the show yesterday morning, and then I saw the photos, more of them. Did you see what she was wearing? She was dressed, what she was wearing, it kind of reminded me, it was a cross between her outfit, Marjorie Taylor Greene. It was a cross between Gene Wilder's Willy Wonka and Prince during the Purple Rain era. She looked like a weirdo. All she was missing was a cane. You know, it was very weird. And not only was she taking pictures with Code Pink, she was talking about how much she's had in common with Code Pink for years. Code Pink is one of the nastiest, most liberal, lunatic organizations out there. They're like Media Matters and all these other groups. They're really, I mean, they don't get more radical, liberal, commie than Code Pink. How could you have anything in common where you're taking pictures with these people? You know, you don't have to take pictures with people you don't want to take pictures to, and you don't have them at your office like she did. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, I'm singling her out right now, but there's going to be a lot of people like her that are going to spend all next year on MSNBC, well, MS Now, it's called MS Now, CNN, and going on liberal shows. They're Republicans, and they're going to be like Michael Avenatti and Michael Cohen, trashing Trump and the whole MAGA movement. And this narcissist, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's the only true MAGA person, is what she wants you to believe. I'm stepping away because I'm real MAGA. Donald Trump's fake MAGA. That's basically what she's saying, and a lot of other terrible things. So, you know, the best thing that we can do, I think, with these people, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, is to tune them out and not give them too much airtime, right? I mean, that's kind of how I see it. You know, kind of freeze them out, make them irrelevant. I mean, I'm not going to spend the midterm election year responding to idiots all the time like Marjorie Taylor Greene and making them relevant. And maybe that's what one of our strategies should be next year as a movement. All right, now I got to talk to you about Lighthouse Medical. This is another one. You know, if you have neuropathy, you know what I'm talking about. If you have a relative that has neuropathy, you know, you can call Lighthouse Medical and schedule the no-charge consultation for them too, you know. Yeah, and that's not unusual. I was over at Lighthouse Medical a couple weeks ago and was meeting with John over there, and I ran into a few of our listeners in the lobby. You know, a couple of them, they were staring at me, and I was wondering if my zipper was down or something, and then they were listeners. But I was talking to one of them, and one of them brought their dad in. So it's not uncommon for spouses, children, and even grandchildren, I was talking to John about this, to bring relatives in. You know, people that have neuropathy, it is so painful. It's so painful. They sometimes they can't even think straight enough to make a phone call to go over there. And you understand what I mean? So when you take your husband, your wife, grandma, grandpa, a friend, a relative over there, you can schedule the no-charge consultation too, and you should do it. And if you can't make it in person, that's okay, because Lighthouse Medical can help you no matter where you are in the world, really, with telehealth. So, you know, neuropathy is not something you have to live with. Steve had his neuropathy treatment 3.5 years ago. The next day, he saw relief. They rid him of his neuropathy symptoms, and 3.5 years later, they've not returned. That's right. You know, if he still had neuropathy, he wouldn't be going on the cruises with me. It would just be me, because, you know, he wouldn't be able to go. That's why we sought out Lighthouse Medical in the first place, because we had our cruise coming up. The numbness, the pain, the burning, the tingling in the hands and feet, the muscle weakness, loss of balance, dizziness, falling down, muscle twitching. Do you have any of these symptoms? The feeling of pins and needles in your hands and feet. Maybe no feeling at all. If you have these symptoms and you haven't been diagnosed yet, you may have neuropathy. Call Lighthouse Medical. Take advantage of the no-charge consultation. They'll let you know if you have neuropathy or not. Give them a call. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. We'll be right back.
The cold. Hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show. The Chip and Joe Money Show presents Christmas Oldies at Noon. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Join the True Oldies channel every day at noon for Christmas Oldies. Feel the magic of the season.
If you're on hold, hang in there. I'll get to some calls in a bit.
It's Christmas Oldies each day at noon. The True Oldies channel.
Wow, somebody just sent me this tweet. Look at this. They just tagged me on Twitter. Anthony. I want to go over this when we get back. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, guys.
All your family's natural health needs. So stop by Nutrition World at the northeast corner of PGA Boulevard and Prosperity Farms Road in the Carmine's Market Plaza by the Prosperity entrance. You can call us or text us anytime at 561-626-4377. That's 626-4377. Or check out our website at nutritionworld.com. Come see us 7 days a week at Nutrition World, Palm Beach Gardens.
On the line, we have Gina. She's a client of Jupiter Joe Thomas. Gina, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, Brian?
I'm doing great, thanks. So you went and met with Joe Thomas about annuities. Can you tell me about your experience?
I can't say enough good things about my experience with Joe Thomas. He's a straight shooter. He tells it like it is. He talks in plain language so that you know, because I didn't know anything about this stuff when I retired. So I walked into his office, and immediately I felt comfortable. And I said, look, I know nothing about this. I don't want to lose my shirt, so please guide me in the right direction so that I'll be set. And he sure did. And I'm very happy that I went there. And I even got my mother to join too. Now I feel comfortable that I'm set and I don't have to worry about running out of money.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than running out of money before you run out of life, right?
Exactly.
Give Jupiter Joe Thomas a call and schedule your no-charge consultation. His number is 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999 and online, jupiterjoe.com. All right, Gina, thanks so much.
Thank you, Brian.
This is George Colony. I'm in the real estate business in Fort Lauderdale, Florida with Kai's Real Estate. I've been in business for 6 decades. People often ask me, what's the right time to buy or sell real estate? To tell you the truth, it's always the right time. You just need to have the right advice from the right advisor. You can call me anytime because I answer my phone on the first ring. My number is 954-801-7320. That's my personal cell phone number. And I answer it on the first ring every time. Please give me a call. I'm happy to answer any question that you have. My cell phone number is 954-801-7320.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is up.
All righty, if you're on hold, stand by. Our number 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Joellen from Fort Lauderdale.
Hey, Joellen.
Hey there. So what exactly happened to Marjorie Taylor Greene? How does somebody go like from hot to cold like that? Was it because Trump didn't want to back her for? Didn't she want to run for senator?
There's been a couple of stories told by Trump and Susie Wiles, which are basically the same. Couple things. One is that she wanted to run for Senate, and Trump said this. I've heard him say this at least once. He had them pull up the polls. It was hopeless. He censored the polls, and that turned things around against him from her. And she was calling, according to the president and Susie Wiles, like 5 times a day. And he's president now. He doesn't have time to take her call all day. And that you know, and she took that as a slight. That's what Susie Wiles and Trump said.
Yeah. Wow, that is unbelievable. I mean, to see her go from one spectrum to another is.
But I think there's something more to it than that. I think that a lot of it's money. They opened up the books, and she's made $25 million in the last 4 or 5 years. Through and one of the big deals was a stock purchase for a company that Homeland Security did a big purchase from. They do those insider tradings in Congress. So I think it was more, probably a combination, but that probably was a big part of it. It's terrible.
It is because I wonder what Brian Glenn thinks of her. I mean, I wonder if how that whole thing works.
Well, he gave an interview this week. It was a print interview, Brian Glenn, and I have it on my X. And I can't remember who did the interview as we're talking. But he talked about it, and he said that he feels like a child in the middle of a divorce between the parents, which is kind of a weird thing to say about the woman you're having sex with. But that's what he said.
Wow.
But listen, Marjorie Taylor Greene and I've always liked Brian Glenn, don't get me wrong, but they're both adulterers. They left their spouses for each other, and I like Brian Glenn, but they look like partiers to me. He did an interview with, I just pulled it up, Brian Glenn. Who did he do the interview with? He did an interview with the Washington Post, Brian Glenn.
Which is very liberal.
Well, I wouldn't give an interview to the Washington. Why would he talk to the Washington Post? What's that about?
Right.
President Trump on 2 occasions this week has gone out of his way to say good things about Brian Glenn. And one was on Air Force One the other day. Brian didn't even ask a question. And he said, "Brian, how you doing?" He didn't even have a question. So he's been, and he did it in the Oval. It was either the Oval Office or the Cabinet Room or something the other day, or the Roosevelt. He keeps calling him out, which I think is to stick it to Marjorie Taylor Greene. But you know, he left his wife, then he left Right Side and got this cake job through her connections, obviously. Now he's doing interviews with the Washington Post.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah. They have to get the message out that the midterms are just as important as the presidential term.
Well, and what she did is she's resigned, right? In the middle of her term, she's leaving in January to get the pension, but still it's just over halfway point. There's going to be a special election in that seat. A Democrat could win it. There's a guy from Georgia that they say is a good, strong MAGA lawyer, and he's favorite. I don't know. But she puts her seat in jeopardy, the Republican seat in jeopardy, twice, because they're going to have the special election for the rest of the term, and then they got to do it again in November. They probably have to have a primary and the general in November again. So there's going to be 3 votes in that seat because of her.
Right. So, does the public understand that, you know, what will happen if the House gets turned over to the Democrats, and what? I mean, do they want to live in a Democrat control after if they win the midterms? I don't think a lot of people understand that, so I think they really have to get the message for that.
I agree. Yeah, go ahead.
As well as the economy. They have to say, you know, like the groceries, people are mad about it. They have to understand that we are living still in Biden economy, because people don't understand that, and that things are going to get better.
Well, you know, a lot of these people that want to be permanent political people, okay? And Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's made millions of dollars, so she'll be fine if she doesn't make another cent, but she's probably angling some deal with CNN or MS Now or something, who knows? But, you know, what a lot of them are doing, these people, they're viewing Trump as a lame duck, so they're angling for what will their career be like post Trump, right? That's what a lot of them are doing. And Marjorie Taylor Greene is the biggest traitor this movement's ever had, bigger than Michael Cohen. You know, is a jerk, a scumbag lawyer, but you know he was facing who knows how much time in prison. So he made a deal. You give me a light sentence, and I'll trash Trump for the rest of my life. I understand why he did it. He was going to be in prison forever. You know, he was a political. I mean, when do feds break into an attorney's office on a fishing expedition? Which is, I'm not excusing him, but if he's facing 15 or 20 years in prison, which is, they would have, believe me, they could find ways. I understand why he did what he did. Marjorie Taylor Greene, you got to ask the question: was she ever with us?
Well, it's hard to believe that she wasn't. I mean, she was really gung ho. I mean, I think she really was, but whatever turned her, whatever it was, it's sad.
You know, and she was really close. I mean, when the president had to go to New York to surrender for that Bragg arrest, she came to Mar-a-Lago. She flew with him. She went to the arraignment with him. You know, she was there. I mean, she was there. Yep. That's it. Money. You know, this is the thing, okay? I don't know, but Brian Glenn and her look like partiers to me. And they do. I mean, Brian Glenn, he looks, I like Brian Glenn, but he looks hungover half the time if you see him, doesn't he? And, you know, and they're in this, they get into that social circle. Remember when we had Kevin McCarthy, we found out Kevin McCarthy was living at Frank Luntz's apartment, you know? So these people get into these party circles and all of a sudden things change. Money, power, and obviously they're not moral people. They both left their spouses for each other. They were cheating on their spouses and left their spouses for each other. So that, you know, neither of them are moral people.
Yeah, but I mean, how does one go from? I mean, Democrats are total trash. So how do you go from what she claimed to be?
Well, you increase your net worth by $25 million in 5 years. That seems to be a factor.
Yeah, but it wasn't because of the Democrats, right?
Well, it's the uniparty, right? The establishment You know, somebody that's new to Congress, they're not going to do some insider trade deal on their own. First off, you don't even know that the deal's going to go through. So how would you know to buy the stock? How do you know? And if you did, you'd be like, well, I'm going to go to jail. So what happens? They have one of the establishment Republicans whisper in your ear. You do the deal. You're nervous. You do the deal, and boom, now they got you. You're in the mob family now. She's uniparty.
It's too bad with all these Republicans, resigning. But some of them are just as well. Maybe we'll get some better people in it. Yeah, I think they just have to get the word out.
Yeah.
Do it.
See, that's why, like Scott Bassett, President Trump surrounds himself with a lot of billionaires because they're not corruptible. They can't be bought off. They have more money than they can burn, right? They're so rich. They're untouchable.
Right.
All right, listen, I got to run, Joe Ellen.
Okay.
All right, top of the hour break. All right, it's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, the Steve Kane Show. Our number, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll take our break for the top of the hour, come back with more of your calls right after this.
UAM 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WFLM 104.7 HD3 Palm Beach, heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. We are South Florida's home for the True Oldies Channel. From the All-Year Cooling Weather Center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your Oldies forecast.
Sunny with a high of 74 degrees into the evening, partly cloudy with a low of 71 degrees. On Saturday, increasing clouds with a high of 77. Into the evening, a chance of showers with a chance of thunderstorms with a low of 71 degrees. On Sunday, a chance of showers with a high of 78 degrees. And on Sunday evening, a slight chance of showers and windy, a low of 68 degrees.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit All Year Cooling.
Oh, yeah. Because sometimes he's hard to get.
The All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a True Oldies.
It's the same number that's on the commercial. But let me see here. That's his cell. So I can give it to you out loud because we give it out on the radio. Hold on, let me.
At your traffic brought to you by
954.
Yeah. December 12th, get in the holiday spirit with Chris McDonald's Merry Christmas Baby Dinner Show featuring a delicious three-course meal. And don't miss Football Sundays in the paddock. Just $25 gets you an all-you-can-eat buffet and a draft beer. Check out our 2026 lineup in the paddock with Tyrus, Eagles tribute band Alter Eagles, ELO tribute band Ticket to the Moon, and more. Paddock show tickets make great holiday gifts. For tickets and info, go to pbkennelclub.com.
This is George Colony. I'm in the real estate business in Fort Lauderdale, Florida with Kai's Real Estate. I've been in business for 6 decades. People often ask me, what's the right time to buy or sell real estate? To tell you the truth, it's always the right time. You just need to have the right advice from the right advisor. You can call me anytime because I answer my phone on the first ring. My number is 954.
If you're on hold, hang in there. I'll take some calls when we get back.
It's my personal cell phone number, and I answer it on the first ring every time. Please give me a call. I'm happy to answer any question that you have. My cell phone number is 954-801-7320.
Is there just one Joe Thomas spot on the log today? Just okay, then I'll do that one for the next hour. Yeah.
Associations and HOA communities are being threatened by their insurance companies to replace their roofs or lose coverage. We perform a full evaluation of your roofs, test the conditions of the materials, suggest repairs, set maintenance schedules, and write letters to your insurance companies. We are also state of Florida general contractors, which carry a lot of weight when dealing with insurance companies. We recently had a property management company call us to evaluate 2 multi-story condo buildings. Each were in aging condition. We performed a full evaluation, built a case with focused repairs and maintenance that the roofs had up to 5 years left. The insurance companies granted the associations additional time. Homeowners, condo, and HOA associations, give me a call at 954-604-4602 to set up an evaluation so we can help you with your insurance company. That number again is 954-604-4602 or find us at laportaroofing.com.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, hour number 2 has begun. If you're on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. And let me just go through a little bit of this Brian Glenn interview he did with, this is with the Washington Post, but where I'm reading it from is on Mediaite, okay? Real America Voice White House correspondent Brian Glenn has opened up about his view on the feud between Marjorie Taylor Greene, his girlfriend, and President Trump. In an interview with the Washington Post, see, this is, that right there, I don't like that. I mean, first off, the Washington Post is CIA. Everybody knows this, Woodward and Bernstein. They, not only are they liberal, they like brag about it. In an interview with the Washington Post, Brian Glenn detailed the awkward position he's been in lately. And although he's established himself as one of the most pro-Trump faces in the White House press corps, that relationship has been complicated by the president's vicious feud with Greene. Greene has been at odds with Trump on a number of issues recently. Chief among them is the release of the Epstein files, which, by the way, President Trump signed a bill into law making it the law to release the files, and they're coming out. Greene, however, has sided with Democrats and even spoken at Democrat-led events in support of the Epstein file release, which has been done. Notice they leave that out of the story, that President Trump signed that bill into law. In response, Trump has repeatedly called Greene a traitor and rescinded his endorsement of her for the next election cycle. And then she announced she's going to resign. So Brian Glenn was lying low. This is the Washington Post. So Brian Glenn was lying low. It wasn't that he felt the whole White House had turned against him. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt and Communications Director Stephen Chung had both sent him kind notes. But he didn't want his fellow reporters to feel uncomfortable asking Trump about the falling out with Marjorie Taylor Greene. And he didn't want to have to stand there and listen to Trump's response, especially since Trump's responses thus far had struck Glenn as unfair. See, Brian Glenn's criticizing President Trump. I've never thought I'd hear that in my life. I know that's a mild criticism, but for Brian Glenn to say that about Trump? Like, what are you talking about, man? She's one of your biggest supporters, he told me that day. It was a tougher line of questioning than I'd ever seen him pose to the president. She differs on a couple of issues, but she's still in your camp, he continued. She never left your camp. Brian Glenn added that he felt like the little divorced kid in the middle as a result of the feud between his girlfriend and the president. Well, I don't know who refers to themselves as a child in the middle of a divorce when between two parents when one of them is their girlfriend they're having sex with. That's really a strange thing to say. Well, that's it. He didn't say much, but I didn't like what he said, and I don't like what he said to it. And, Brian Glenn, listen, we got to give him the benefit of the doubt and see what he does, but we're starting to see some criticism. Well, of course. I don't know if their relationship will make it. It depends on where she ends up when this all settles. I mean, look, Sarah Palin and Todd Palin, who would have ever thought they split? They were married with kids and grandkids, and they got divorced. Fame does things to people. When people get famous, a lot of times, they change. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, if she gets some major TV deal, which everyone expects she'll do, she's going to become famous in a different way with a whole nother audience. And I'll tell you, Marjorie Taylor Greene, when she was with us and she was at any MAGA event or a rally, people stood up and applauded and treated her, I mean, great. I mean, we loved her. If you heard that interview I did with her here, it was, the biggest suck-up interview you could ever do, and I'm not embarrassed by that. I wasn't at the time. I'm not now. And without saying who specifically, you can figure this out. Mar-a-Lago was listening to that interview. I got a text from someone who told me they were listening right before the interview. And I was really nervous in that interview because I wish they would have texted me after and told me. So she was really in with us. But if she starts doing the rounds, Bobby Kennedy, great example, okay? Not that he's a traitor, he's doing the right thing, but when Bobby Kennedy went to that Trump rally, the first Trump rally, where he endorsed President Trump, and he walked out on stage, everyone stood up and applauded him. And it was really amazing, right? I talked about this at the time and said it was a sign of respect for him and his father and his uncle. Well, that's what it's going to be like with Marjorie Taylor Greene in these liberal circles, like these Code Pink women she was with yesterday. And she's already gotten a little celebrity in her. Look at how she was dressed. And was that a purple? It looked like a purple velvet pantsuit with ruffles. It was very strange. So when she gets into that celebrity head, who knows what's going to happen? All right. Well, anyway, let's go to the phones. Our number 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh. Where are you going?
Oh, but
where are you going?
I'm going to Mexico.
Oh, you can listen to the show in Mexico.
Yeah.
I have.
Really, I didn't know that.
Sure, online. We on one of our cruises, we've been to Mexico multiple times, and when we run best of shows on the cruise, I was listening. I was checking in, listening from my cabin on the balcony of the cruise ship in Mexico. Absolutely.
I'll check that out if I can. I will.
Yeah.
I'll be able to call.
We'll survive. We'll manage.
All right. Well, I just let you know if you wonder what happened. Anyway. The reason I was calling, a couple of things. Number one, you know how you listen to something on the internet and then all of a sudden you get flooded with all these other people. Well, I listened to one guy who was complaining that what the hell is taking so long? Why aren't these people being arrested that have gone against President Trump? And man, all of a sudden there's so many people now so annoyed that Pam Bondi is not bringing anybody, locking anybody up. We had the Comey, but he got released, and everybody's wondering why. If it was the Democrats, everybody who was a Republican would be in cuffs and in jail. So unfortunately, the Republicans are the nice guys, and I said, you know what the problem is? The problem I think is that our judges, Republicans, do it the right thing.
Well, let me tell you. Now, listen, this is holiday time, right? A lot of people, I couldn't believe how few cars were on I-95 this morning. So the way I'm talking today is not how I'm going to be talking next year, okay? But I want to get a couple things out of the way. I'll give you an example of something right now that has happened that it really ticks me off that there hasn't been a response to. Why haven't we seen major arrest with this Minnesota federal fraud that's been going on with the Medicaid and the relief funds? They know the names. We've seen them all over television. These are not, famous people like Comey. Why haven't the FBI gone there? Or I know Bessett's doing some investigating. The Secret Service is no longer with the Treasury Department. They're with Homeland Security now. They were with Treasury forever. But why have we not seen some arrest of these Somalis in Minnesota? Come on.
That's the point. Everybody, for some reason, when Republicans are in power, nothing gets done. These guys just sit around and Pam Bondi, I don't know what's wrong with her. Why is it that we treat them the way they treat us? lock them up, and then if
part of it is there's a few reasons. I mean, one of the reasons is they don't play by the rules or the laws. They just do whatever they want to do. So and our people do that. But I don't know about Pam Bondi. She came up through politics through Jeb Bush here in Florida. So I don't know. Sometimes I wonder. The immediate thinking people have is, well, she's in with the Bushes. Well, there's another possibility that she's just doesn't know what she's doing. She was, you and I have talked about this before, Doug. She was the Attorney General of Florida for 8 years. I don't know a damn thing she did. The guy we got now, he's not as famous. I don't remember his name. He is the one who came up with the idea for Alligator Alcatraz, our state Attorney General now. He's got some lawsuit going on against Starbucks. A racial discrimination lawsuit, discrimination against, by the way, white people. This is the current Attorney General of Florida because they have pledged to hire 35% of senior people to be non-white. He says you can't do that. He's suing Starbucks. I don't know anything she did when she was Attorney General. I don't know. Do you?
No, not at all. And like I said, for some reason, the judges that are Republican do it the right way, follow the law, and the Democrat judges do whatever the poly.
Yeah, right. But there's no excuse for not arresting some of these Somalians. Dr. Oz was, and sometimes things like this happen too. Okay, Dr. Oz was on with Greg Kelly last night on Newsmax. And and he was talking. They found a huge Medicaid fraud ring out of Miami, involving Russians and Cubans, that had to do with like motor scooters and wheelchairs and stuff, huge stuff. You can spread yourself too thin. If you get too many balls up in the air as opposed to focus in on one, things get lost. But there's no excuse why they have not done an arrest in Minnesota. And there's one other thing. There's one other thing that happened yesterday that no one's covering that I'm going to cover when we get back. All right, Doug, appreciate the call. I want to talk about Coastal Weight Loss Secret. I'm so looking forward to seeing people over the holiday party period that I have not seen in a long time because they haven't seen me since I lost all this weight, unless they watch me online. Do you guys ever have this happen? You get together with people and you have nothing to talk about because they know everything that's going on with you by Facebook post and stuff like that. I start to talk to people like, I know, Brian. Next week, I know, Brian. I heard you talking about this on YouTube. All right, okay. But I am going to see a lot of people in my family that don't watch me online or listen to me, and they haven't seen me or even knew that I lost weight, and I'm very excited about this. Another thing, too, about losing all the weight, I have every hair on my head, no thinning hair, so, I may not get another haircut. Usually around this time of year, my wife doesn't like me to get haircuts because all the guys are bald, and I got a full head of hair, and I've lost all this weight with Coastal Weight Loss Secret. And I thought that I was going to be in trouble with Thanksgiving because I love Thanksgiving food. Stuffing, turkey, pumpkin pie. And when I say that I, eat foods I would normally eat, I got a pocket full of one of my guilty pleasures, Jolly Ranchers. I mean, I eat what I would normally eat. And I'm in the and I'm not taking any prescription medications and no Ozempic. Have you seen Kelly Osbourne lately, Mike? Woo-hoo! Go look up Kelly Osbourne, Ozzy's daughter. She does not look well. You know what? She's Ozempic. None of that with Coastal Weight Loss Secret. You look healthy, you look normal, you look natural, like I do. They can help you no matter where you're located. Give them a call and take advantage of their no-charge consultation. Schedule that today. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott on the radio, reminding you that your favorite oldies are back on the air right after 10 a.m. this morning on the True Oldies channel.
When it comes to dental work, there's no one better than Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. But don't just take my word for it. This is Richie the bus driver. He called in on the air to share his experience with Dr. Gupta. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie. Dr. Gupta. I go 139 miles to this guy. I had a broken tooth. He fixed it. It was supposed to be temporary. It lasted 2 years. He put dentures in my mouth that are a lot cheaper than anybody else. And he's excellent and no pain. I recommend this guy. To me, he's the best ever. So I want to get that out of the way.
Listen to Richie the bus driver. Go see Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
My name is Dr. Philip Appleton. I'm a chiropractic physician. Over the years, I've treated thousands and thousands of patients from bursitis, tendonitis.
You know me? You know that I was a crack cocaine addict.
Post-surgery, pre-surgery, herniated disc, gout, bone on bone. If you can name the pain, most likely I've treated over the years. Most of my practice is laser with robotic lasers. They're robots which rotates constantly around the area, where most lasers do not do that. So if you want to come in for a free consultation, as always here, welcome at Appleton Chiropractic. I'm here 6 days a week. I personally do all the treatment. You can bring your MRIs, you can bring your X-rays, you can bring your CAT scans, whatever you have to bring for me to look at, I would do that free of charge.
Call Dr. Appleton right now for that free consultation. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonChiro.com. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, but everybody can hear me. We're in break. You want to text me? It's my wife on the walkie.
I know I'm watching you.
Oh, okay. See, that's the walkie-talkie. My wife's talking to me on.
Wonderful and always polite. Never showed any aggravation or because I contacted them many times. Always polite. And not only that, when you finish your documents and you leave this world, your beneficiaries could go there and they'll explain everything to them, which is a big deal because a lot of these beneficiaries or heirs, they're not cognizant of what to do. I just wanted to let you know that the Siegel Group is above and beyond any other attorney that I have ever contacted. Plus, they give you a big portfolio at the end with a leather-bound documents. It's beautiful.
Give the Siegel Law Group a call, 855-FLA-3782.
Coming back, guys.
855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com.
Back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, Harrison Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
Alrighty, we're back. I'm Brian. It is Open Phones on Friday, Open Mega Mike Friday. The number is 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Doc from Texas.
Hey, what's up, Texas?
Hey, man, how are you this morning?
I'm doing well.
Okay, two things. I'm going to let you go. First of all, you was wondering why nobody's not getting one of your callers called and asked why nobody's not getting arrested. Because maybe the reason why not getting arrested, because maybe there's nobody, they're not doing nothing to get arrested. And maybe the people that's doing stuff are getting arrested. Y'all just want certain people to...
You mean like, you know, Letitia James, this is... the second time, like in the last week, a grand jury in Virginia refused to return an indictment against her. So you mean to say that going out and getting a mortgage on a home and falsifying the documents to get that mortgage, saying that your father is your husband, you're married to your father, you're saying that's not a crime?
Brian, if she would have really would have committed a crime, they'd have indicted.
She did it. No, Democrats are, listen, hold on. Democrats are like James Bond. They have a license to do anything they want to do.
Brian, the reason she got indicted the first time because Trump got this poor young lady that don't know her ass from her shoulder.
Nice language.
Yeah, so okay, fine. She set her up, and she didn't know what she was doing, and she just went in there, and they basically set her up to do nothing.
I don't know what you're talking about. You're talking about Harry. Now, please. Mortgage fraud's a crime. You or I would be in prison for that.
Brian, she did not do anything, and Brian, I'm not, like I said, they decided not to indict her.
Sure, if you get a mortgage in another state and you claim you're a resident of that state, you get a better rate. You're stealing from the bank. She did Letitia James did multiple times what she accused Trump of doing with Mar-a-Lago. She falsified. She did get an indictment.
But why wasn't it throughout?
Because a Clinton appointed judge is a hack.
It's no dare there.
Tell yourself that.
Hey, and Mike Lindell is running for governor of
That's right.
Minnesota. Please, Brian, y'all. Mike Lindell won't even get past the primary.
Tell me what's wrong with Mike Lindell?
Mike Lindell is a kook.
No, he's not. He's not. Nope.
Brian, Mike Lindell or Pope, he did lost. You know what makes me so mad? Mike Lindell, what's the guy's name? He used to be governor of New York. I can't call his name right now.
Mm.
Well, anyway, they used to be the top of the top. They didn't got with Trump. Now they lower and lower. They lost everything because of Trump. Trump is a billionaire making money, and they instead of losing.
Well, Mike Lindell's a millionaire.
Mike Lindell's losing money every day.
No, he's not. He's making bank. In fact, he had that huge multi-million-dollar judgment against him. It was tossed out.
Lindell is a kook.
Mm-hmm.
Baby, who gonna vote for him? Who got some sense to?
Well, probably, if this were any other year, it might be unlikely for a Republican to win. And what state's he running in? Do you know?
Who? Mike Lindell?
Yeah.
Minnesota.
Okay. You're not that stupid. So you do believe you are stupid. You're just not that stupid.
Brian, come on, Brian. All
right.
What I'm saying.
Well, right now in Minnesota, you've got this major Democrat Somali theft ring going on. This is a perfect time for a Republican, whoever they are, to win in Minnesota.
Okay, Brian. You keep saying it's a major theft ring. And, okay, they probably arrested some people. Good. They arrested some people stealing. Okay, I'm glad they did that. But the problem is, I'm not talking. Mike Lindell is not going to get nowhere. Because Mike Lindell, please, Brian.
Not get nowhere is a double negative, which means it's a positive, which means he's going to get everywhere. So you're predicting a victory.
No, I'm not, Brian. And he gonna have poor Trump gonna go there. Trump probably won't even go. Trump probably say, I don't want to be involved with that man.
When the holiday period is over, if this $8 billion theft ring starts to get arrested, and there's a major financial scandal. And then there was a story I had on the show yesterday. 81% of the Somalis in Minnesota are on at least one form of welfare. People in Minnesota are pissed. Right now, it's 57 degrees right now in South Florida. I can only imagine what the temperature is and the wind chill factor is in Minnesota. People are going to work in sub-zero weather while these Somalis are stealing their tax money. And many of them are retired off of welfare while they're going to work in the snow and the sleet and driving on icy roads. People, it is true. It's not true. It's not cold in Minnesota. Take care. Come on. Mike Lindell announced officially he's running yesterday. Now, before we break, I want to talk about Jamie Levac, our newest sponsor here on the program with Swift Tax. You've heard me talk to Jamie a couple times already. He joined us last week. And the entire tax code has changed because of the big, beautiful bill. If you already have an accountant, call Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. Okay, he's the best. He understands the big beautiful bill like no one's business. In fact, the first thing he said to me when he was going to come on, I said, "Well, what are some things you think we should cover?" He says, "Oh, the tax benefits from the big beautiful bill," and he knows that big beautiful bill tax cut inside and out and every which way but loose. I mean, and he really knows it. So, if you are a senior receiving Social Security benefits, call Jamie Levac. Major changes and benefits for you who are receiving Social Security. And you've got no other income source, by the way, call him. If you're a senior on Social Security who is working, call Jamie Levac. There's great new tax benefits for seniors where you were getting penalized in the past that you're no longer being penalized for working. If you work in the gig economy, like a Lyft, Uber driver, Uber Eats, something like that, any type of job like that, call Jamie Levac. He has a very special understanding of people who work in those kind of industries that you're not going to find from a lot of tax pros out there. I'm telling you, he's very, very good. If you have an accountant and you think you've been paying too much in taxes in the past few years, call Jamie Levac, all right? Also, what I was talking with Jamie Levac from Swift Tax the other day about was people that owe back taxes for past years. Call Jamie Levac. Have him look over those past years. Maybe you don't owe those taxes. Maybe you don't owe that much. He'll take a look at your past taxes and maybe get that wiped out for you. Give him a call. Here's his number. It rings directly to Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. 954-773-1589. 954-773-1589. That's 954-773-1589. If you're on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name's Brian Craig. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're going to really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Case is not the
Oh my goodness. Hold on.
A judge who tossed out a jury's guilty verdict in a fraud case is not the only judge in Hennepin County who had problems with the state's case. I broke this story that went national a couple weeks ago.
At bbkennelclub.com.
STUNS Home Security is offering a free home security system with free professional installation and 24/7 central station monitoring, all for just $24.95 a month for 5 years. All you have to do right now is call 833-283-5050. That's right, just $24.95 per month to secure your home and family. Call 833-283-5050 to receive this limited time offer. A free home security system and professional installation absolutely free. Your Sloman's home security system includes a touchscreen keypad, 3-door or window sensors, a motion detector, notifications, and remote keypad access, so you can check in anytime from anywhere. You can't put a price on peace of mind, so call 833-283-5050 right now. At Sloman's Home Security, we believe every family deserves to feel safe, because protecting what matters most shouldn't be complicated or expensive. Call 833-283-5050 to get your free home security system and professional installation today. Sloman's Home Security, protecting families nationwide. Call 833
today or visit slowmins.com. This season, the only chill you need is the ocean breeze. Margaritaville at Sea is going big with buy one, get one cruise fares, kids sail free, and free stateroom upgrades. It's time to set sail, kick back with live island music, savor the best cheeseburgers in paradise, and cruise into Caribbean destinations and bucket list adventures, all at the best rates of the season. But hurry, these savings won't stick around. Book your season savings today at margaritavilleatsea.com.
Discover a new era of luxury senior living at the Carlisle Palm Beach. The only senior living community in Palm Beach with ocean views. Under new management by Liberty Senior Living, the Carlisle is being beautifully reimagined with resort-style amenities, refreshed apartment homes, and smart living upgrades. Enjoy vibrant wellness through Inspired by Liberty, elevated dining experiences, and a lifestyle designed for connection and ease. Since 1999, the Carlisle has been a trusted name. Now, with a renewed vision for refined living, call today or visit CarlislePalmBeach.com to learn more. That's CarlislePalmBeach.com.
9 years on the air.
All right, there's only one opening on the board. It is Open Manga Mic Friday. Anything and everything on your mind is fair game. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. How you doing? This is Maria, Florida.
Hey, Maria. What's up?
Not much. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, I was calling. Oh, my God. Trump done so many things this week. Oh, what amazing to have a president that can stand up to these trolls and these liars. I'm so sick of it. That's the reason I tried to call yesterday, but I couldn't get through. But I said, no, I need to call on Friday so I can be able to, say what I need to say.
Yep.
I don't like the fact that Marjorie Taylor Greene, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, all these crazy people. I mean, I don't understand what's wrong with these people.
Well, Candace Owens is in some big trouble. I'm not going to share this yet, but Laura Loomer posted something about Candace Owens' husband, and she's investigating them now, and she found something. And you know what I would say? If Laura Loomer reports it, you can take it to the bank, okay? And you don't want Laura Loomer on you. I'm telling you, you don't want Laura Loomer on your case, and what she found out is not good.
Yeah, and I was looking at these Republicans, like they really showing but including them in the Senate, and I don't know what's going on, but why won't you give the president his nominee? Give him his nominee. What's the problem?
Yeah.
It's like we fighting, but we have to fight our own party too. Like, this is ridiculous.
That's the problem. That's why we need a third term of Trump in 2028. I mean, we just don't, we have a lot of good MAGA Republicans in place, but not enough.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We definitely need them in the Senate. I thought we need them in the House. I don't think too much. I think we just need to. The ones that's in the House, you need to pay attention, because a lot of Republicans winning special election, and the media won't talk about it. I didn't even notice that we had one in Florida beat out a Democrat, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Talking about that mayor seat, all of a sudden I get like a feedback of because I posted, I said, wait a minute, you're talking about this mayor? Well, this mayor never represented himself as a Republican. I know he's been there a while, but, I mean, honestly, he didn't represent himself as a Republican because he was letting in the illegal immigrants.
Yeah, he was, and I did a whole thing on that earlier in the week. I guess it was Wednesday, the day after, and boy, did people on the left really ticked at me on that show. When I was showing them that Miami's this little tiny piece, and the outgoing mayor Suarez, I'm assuming he's the son of the famous mayor Suarez. So he got in on name recognition, but he's a hardcore liberal guy. He's the mayor who was paid in crypto. He's very liberal.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's what I was looking at. I was like, okay, what is all the fuss about? You talking about this mayor? Yeah, he said some things nice, but he never was on our team.
Mm-hmm.
Trump would call him out and say, "Hey, man, you know, even though Trump adores him, but he wasn't like he was out there on out there protesting. Having a rally for him or speaking out for him. No, he just adores him. That's it."
And on a post on True Social, it was not really an endorse. It was a mention.
Right. So I'm like, are you serious? So I was looking at the media, and while they was parading that, a big win for the Democrat, it's a sign that we can take back Florida. I said, get out of here. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, exactly. All right, Maria, good to talk to you. Take care. Maria from Florida. See, she was having some problems. She went to see Dr. Appleton, and she's living pain-free now. And, let me talk about Dr. Appleton since I was just talking to her. I don't know if you heard, she called in a few weeks ago. She could hardly talk. She was in so much pain. She told me she was going to go see Dr. Appleton, and I didn't think about this till after I disconnected the call, or I would have talked about it. But do you hear the difference? She sounds years younger because she's pain-free now, thanks to Dr. Philip Appleton. And if you're in pain, no matter her pain had some, I don't remember the details. It had something to do with her legs. And if I remember, she called me the other day. She's out walking. See how she got her life back? Marie in Florida, you can do the same thing. Give Dr. Appleton a call. Remember, the consultation is free, and appointments are not necessary, even on Saturdays, tomorrow. So go see Dr. Appleton, take advantage of the no-charge consultation, and let him tell you what he can do to rid you of pain. His number is 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710, and online, AppletonCairo.com. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once, twice.
In Wisconsin. How you doing?
Hey, Justin, you just made it. My finger was on the hang-up button.
My bad. I just called in to figure out, with what's going on with all of these scenarios, with all of these, supposedly important people, what's going on with our local economies? What's going on with our local people? I think people get too caught up in federal issues, and it just conflates everything. Now, Donald Trump, as far as some of his federal policies, you can give him a kudos, you can give the Democrats a kudos, but we got to remember that the Democrats and the Republicans are equally responsible for all the public policies that they implement. Now, if we can get back to a constitutional basis with not all the identity politics involved, where there's a superiority complex between one group or another, where do you think we're going to get our common ground for just our cooperation?
Well, let me ask you. You said a superiority complex between two people. Who's got this superiority complex?
Well, it's a superiority complex between, you have far left, far right, you have, your moderates, there's liberty.
Well, where would you put Trump into that? Conservative, extreme? Where do you put him on that scale?
I think Trump is what a Democrat was 20 years ago, which is now considered what a Republican is.
Really? What is Democrat like about his policies today? What is he, the second term, what's he doing that was 20 years ago Democrat, Bill Clinton? What is something he's doing in his second term that was Bill Clinton-like?
Well, he's not repealing as much as I thought he would. I thought he'd be more of instead of stacking stuff on top of stuff, why isn't he repealing?
Be specific. You're in a lot of vague You say that, hold on, let me state the premise because I want to hear this. You said Donald Trump is like a Democrat 20 years ago. It's a little more than 20 years, but we'll put that, the closest Democrat to that would be Clinton. Give me a policy of President Trump's in his second term that is a Clinton-like policy.
Well, he hasn't taken us out of NATO yet. So if he was going to...
No, that's not a policy. Something he's done.
So Donald Trump hasn't really done anything as far as...
What are you talking about? Right now... Do you know right now... Excuse me. You can raise your voice. He hasn't done anything? Excuse me. Right now, fentanyl deaths are down 35% this year. That's about 25,000 people that are alive that would have died from overdoses. The latest fentanyl seizures from the DEA are they are so less potent than previous fentanyl. The addicts aren't even getting high off of them. He has shut down the importation of illegal drugs from the cartels into this country by 91%, he said yesterday. So how can you say he's done nothing? He passed the big, beautiful bill starting next month. People are going to really see this when they start filing their taxes. It's the largest tax cut in American history. So what do you mean he hasn't done anything?
The big beautiful bill is going to kill small businesses all around the country. As far
really, you mean like a small? You mean like a small businessman who's an Uber driver and has a 1099 who's going to have massive tax deductions, or a Social Security recipient who is going to get a refund and as opposed to having to pay, or a single mom who's working as a waitress or a bartender who's not going to have to pay taxes on her tips anymore? Come on.
Well, why doesn't he just repeal the IRS and get rid of federal income tax altogether?
That's his plan. He's talked about this. You got to do it in steps. His plan with the tariffs is to eliminate the IRS. He's talked about this many times. Listen, I'm up against a break, so I'll give you the last word.
Well, if we can repeal all of the nonsense that we have in the federal government, that would be great. And whoever would do that would be great. But, you got to be based like...
You're a libertarian, right? You're a libertarian, right?
Yes, more anarchist than anything, but...
You're an anarchist? You're an anarchist?
Well, if you can create your own security systems and you don't rely on a third party to implement security systems...
What are you talking about?
Well, if you look at... No, so where do you draw security from? You have public entities, right? Policy enforcers that create that security. But then you have the social system that's complained about that...
You are a crazy man. You're a crazy person. No, you're not. You are not. No, you're insane. You can be...
Veteran.
So what?
Diesel technician. I'm skilled...
You can be educated and skilled and still be crazy.
It's trained. See, education...
You can be a highly trained person and still be a crazy person.
Well, that's a crazy is a definition that was created if you believe Freudian psychology versus...
Yeah. I mean, you don't even talk like a normal person.
Well, what is normal?
Well, normal is this, slow down. I gotta end. But what you just did was you proved the point I was about to make. As opposed to responding to anything, you said, what is normal? Then you want to define normal. And then when I say something else, yeah, but what does policy mean? Let's talk about what policy is. All you do is talk about definitions and don't do squat. All right, listen, I gotta run for the break. I gave you many last words. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
If you're dreaming... Is George on the line? George?
Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious, crispy on the outside, succulent on the inside. Everything homemade, nothing comes out of a can. Dozens of specialty sauces that will make your mouth water. Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road.
Brian Craig here. When it comes time to get my blood work done, I don't have time to spend hours in the doctor's office or waiting hours in one of those big labs. That's why I go to Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs for all of my lab work. Their techs are highly skilled and professional, and their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest on lab work you'll find anywhere. Appointments aren't necessary. Doctor's orders and prescriptions, they're not needed either. I'm in and out in 15 minutes or less. I get the results the next day in my email box, and they also send it to my doctor. There's lots of Any Lab Test Nows around.
Okay, I'll do it at the top.
That's all I was thinking.
Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is in the Sandalwood Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, between Palmetto Park Road and Hillsborough Boulevard, on the east side of State Road 7, 441. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood by the Coral Square Mall. Call Any Lab Test Now of Boca at 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs number is 954-906-5983. And don't forget to mention that you heard about them on the radio.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? I did, until I went to Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in my hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching, have all but disappeared. Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now, the Steve Kane Show.
All right, and it is Open Manga Mike Friday. Any and everything on your mind's fair game. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once. Hey, Chris, what's up?
Great. I'm glad you've covered, everything you've covered so far. I'm not getting into any subject you can spend another 2 hours on, but I guess I'll go to the Minnesota governor race. I mean, goodness, the thing I like about conservatives across the country, most of them have been successful in private business. Now, the governor, just like the presidency or mayor race, they have to be executive. It's an executive position. Obviously, Mike, Lindell's a successful executive with his company, My Pillow. So he'll be a great leader. Obviously, he knows how to run a business, and a state is a business, whether these vote.
Especially when they're stealing $8 billion from the state, See, this is the thing. There's no. In the past, it may be, although there was a Republican who won for Senate a while back, Norm Coleman. If anybody remembers Norm Coleman, he was a Republican. He won the Senate race, statewide race. It was when Paul Wellstone died. They had a special election, and former Vice President Walter Mondale, whose daughter had an affair, Monica Lewinsky caught him having sex with Walter Mondale's daughter at the White House. He lost to a Republican, right? And it was, I just said his name and I forgot his name, Norm Coleman. So, there's been no better year to win an election in Minnesota with this scandal than with Mike Lindell right now, who's also a household name in Minnesota. Everybody knows Mike Lindell everywhere, but especially Minnesota, because that's where My Pillow's located.
Well, absolutely. And, really the state should need it. Just like America, believe it or not, they need President Trump. That's why I have no respect for this automatic bias like some of your callers have. Right, wrong, or indifferent, they're okay with whatever Democrats want with their little negative campaigns. And that's just not right. I mean, come on. There was a time that I guess that when they're told or sold as to by what politicians usually do, they'll stand in front of this group and say what they want to hear. They'll stand in front of that group and say what they want to hear. Then, of course, what happens after they get elected? Oh, another politician made promises they can't keep.
Yep.
These are career politicians that only care about their pockets. And they're like, I mean, look at this Omar person now. How much was she worth before she...
65. When she went to Congress, her net worth was $65,000. Now it's $30 million.
amazing. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, same way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't represent their districts. They get in, they want fame. You know, they're jealous. And but listen, the more conservatives we have, the better, because we need a Trump like we need an heir. This man's a successful executive, and all the leadership he's placing now, like the one idiot of what has President Trump done.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a break.
Yep, that's right. All right, Chris. Well, it's good to hear from you. Have a good weekend. All right, take care. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Frenchie from Stewart.
Hey, Frenchie. What's up?
Not much. I was thinking, I'm recalling something in Trump's first term when we were dealing with this Medicare medical insurance crap, because I had to get it back then, but then they passed another law where you could get out of it. But on July 18th, 2017, there was a vote in the Senate to repeal Obamacare. Who was the one person who voted no?
I don't remember. Tell me.
John McCain.
Oh yes. Oh, you're going way back. Oh, the McCain. Yeah, with the thumbs. Yeah, he had brain cancer. He knew he had like weeks to live, and he still flew all the way to Washington to do the thumbs down to Trump. He was such an egomaniac.
Did that thumbs down thing. So he's haunting us right now. Is what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Been taken care of back in 2017. Now it's gone really berserk.
Well, the problem is with the health insurance, Obamacare destroyed the private health insurance, except for like Medicare or Medicaid, but for like regular, people that aren't retired, or the regular health insurance industry was pretty much gutted by Obamacare. It doesn't really exist. You don't have the infrastructure that you used to have.
When you're forced to do something, it's not good when you get forced to do something.
Well, the insurance companies did it to themselves. I talked about this a couple days ago. When Obamacare came around, the insurance companies were so excited because Obama made it a federal law that you had to buy their product, and they were so excited.
Yeah, but then
they're making boatloads of money. They're making tons of money.
Repeal that they forced you, that get repealed, I believe, because there was a way not to pay Obamacare, because I got out somehow. My bookkeeper did it for me, but
well, I have it. I stopped having health insurance coverage with Obamacare because that's when they came in with those huge deductibles and the huge monthly premiums, and it wasn't even insurance, right? So that, yeah.
Like I say, I got out somehow. I got out of it. My number cruncher did it for me, and I said, "Great, I don't have to pay it.
Good
to pay that."
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right, Frenchie and Stewart, appreciate the call. Take care. Take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. Good morning. Hey, I want to talk about immigration real quick. Going through a lot. Monday, my child's mother.
Can you speak up? It's hard to. It is. I can hear you, but it's a little. You're on the Bluetooth. Can you pick the phone up?
Yes, my child's mother left on Monday with my child, 4 months old. She's an illegal immigrant. The police couldn't do anything about it, so I resorted to calling ICE. I was on hold for 5 hours, 2 days in a row. Nobody picks up the phone.
Are you the guy that's called me in the past that's got the illegal girlfriend? So your illegal girlfriend left with your child and went where?
Exactly.
What? You don't know?
Nobody knows. Yeah.
Why'd she leave?
She wants to say abuse.
Oh.
But she's playing the whole victim. She wanted a child. I gave her. She didn't want to pay for a child. I paid for everything. The birth, housing her, paying for everything. And in 4 months, she gets up and leaves unexpectedly. No note, nothing. Didn't even take the brand new formula with her. Very odd.
Well, that's your fault. You should have gotten married.
Well, no, I don't know. Either way, she might have took off anyways.
So now you're trying to get Tom Homan to arrest her.
I'm trying to get my child back, and the police won't do anything. She's just a missing person. The illegal mother who has rights, of course, she can leave and take our child, and that's totally legal, not an issue. And I think she's in Washington. I called someone, and I called the police department in Puyallup, Washington. They did a welfare check. They spoke to someone. They said she's not here, but I spoke to her, and she's okay.
Well, why didn't you get married?
It was a domestic partnership.
Yeah, but I don't know. Well, why didn't you get married?
We were boyfriend and girlfriend, and then I realized this is not the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with.
Oh, so you left her. You just wanted to have her around the house to have sex with and clean and stuff.
Oh, no, we weren't having sex. No, she was a stay-at-home mother,
Uh-huh.
And she up and left. She's gonna go and get her.
Did she take care of the house?
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, so you missed. So what you did is you lost your child and you lost your cleaning lady.
Essentially, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, there you go. That nice guy. All right, hey, listen, I got to run. Nice guy, huh? Nice guy. Oh my goodness. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. We're coming up on the top of the hour break. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. On the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. My name is Brian Craig. Call us on hold, stand by. We'll go to the phones after the break. Our number is toll free, 888-465-2631. 888, somebody just called me an a-hole in the live chat. Isn't that nice? Nice people. We'll be right back after this.
WQAM 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WFLM 104.7 HD3 Palm Beach Shores, and heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. We are South Florida's home for the true oldies channel. From the all-year cooling weather center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
Today will be sunny with a high of 74 degrees. Into the evening, partly cloudy with a low of 71 degrees. On Saturday, increasing clouds with a high of 77. Into the evening, a chance of showers with a chance of thunderstorms with a low of 71 degrees. On Sunday, a chance of showers with a high of 78 degrees. And on Sunday evening, a slight chance of showers and windy, a low of 68 degrees.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a true oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
On the turnpike northbound at the exit ramp to Beeline Highway, there's a broken down vehicle blocking the right lane. Turnpike northbound at Lickworth Road, an accident now on the left shoulder, still causing a backup. North Lake Boulevard, the collision at Old Dixie Highway. Spot something on the roads, call the traffic tip line, pound 250, keyword West Palm traffic. I'm Ron Person.
That's your traffic brought to you by PBKC. Live in the paddock this Friday, December 12th. Get in the holiday spirit with Chris McDonald's Merry Christmas Baby Dinner Show. Featuring the course meal and don't miss football Check out our 2026 lineup in the paddock with Tyrants, Eagles tribute band Alter Eagles, ELO tribute band Ticket to the Moon, and more. Paddock show tickets make great holiday gifts. For tickets and info, go to pbkennelclub.com.
Okay.
Waste hours and hours waiting at the doctor's office or one of those big labs. Go to any lab test now at Boca and any lab test now at Coral Springs. Their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest you'll find anywhere. No appointment, doctor's order, or prescription is needed, and you're in and out in 15 minutes or less. They offer every lab and blood work your doctor can order. They even have drug testing and STD testing. Take control of your healthcare and visit any lab test now at Boca and any lab test now at Coral Springs. There's lots of any lab test nows around. These are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to any lab test now at Boca and any lab test now at Coral Springs. And make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? I did, until I went to Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in my hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching have all but disappeared. Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All righty, one opening on the board. I'm Brian. It's Steve Kane Show. Look who's on the line. George Colony, our real estate agent. George Colony, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. We had a great conversation earlier in the week about why this is a great time to list your home, how you can help people not just sell their home at a great price, but also get a good deal on the home they're moving into, right? You're going to sell their house for top dollar and get them in the new home for as little as possible. And then the week before, we were talking about how you could turn renters into owners for less money than they're paying in rent every month. It's really amazing. This is the best time in real estate I think we've had in Florida in a long time.
I think when there's change like this, it's a great time to buy or sell. I think you're right. If I sell my home, where do I go? What am I paying in interest? What am I going to pay if I go to the new home? Yeah, people have to talk it out. They have to understand there's a lot of options. And some of these banks have got some great programs that people just don't get to see. And even private financing is a great way to accomplish what you want to. But you want to get real estate right now, because when they change that Fed next year, Brian, and they get these tariffs down, Pat, this thing's going to blow up.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You don't just help, though, with single family and residential. You also help people interested in commercial real estate as well, right?
Well, not only commercial, but businesses. A lot of businesses. I started a number of national and international businesses when I was younger, and there's some things that I learned that could really help even the most sophisticated business guy out there. Be a little humble. Make a phone call, and let's see if we can't tell you something that you've never heard before. I had a woman come in from Michigan yesterday. She's going to meet me again on Monday. She's a billionaire, and she sat there last night and she said, I've never heard of anything like what you're talking about. It doesn't hurt people to make a phone call. I'm here.
Yeah, one of the things when we first met and we talked, and this is the thing. When any type of real estate transaction you make is a big transaction, no matter what size, or even no matter how small it is, it's a big transaction for you. And you want George Colony, because you're not just a real estate agent, you're a successful businessman, and you understand every aspect of the business of buying and selling real estate, and you understand money in a way that I don't think very many real estate agents understand, George. Yeah.
Well, listen, you're right about one thing. A piece of real estate is one of the big investments that people make, especially young people. And the young people today have to find a way to get away from these high rentals. They might have a view, but they're paying such astronomical money for rent, and it's just lost money after. Mm-hmm. I don't see it, but I
absolutely
talk to them.
Well, listen, give George Colony a call. This number rings directly to George Colony's cell phone. You could call or text. If he's busy on the phone, leave a message. George Colony will call you back. 954-801-7320. 954-801-7320. That's 954-801-7320. All right, George Colony, have a great weekend. We'll talk next week. All right, take care. All right. There's only one opening on the board where George Colony was at, so you're welcome to call in. I'll try to take these in the order in which they were received. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Scott from Kansas City.
Hey, Scott.
Yeah. Last night in Timcast RRL, they were talking about the feud between Candace Owens and Turning Point and how Timcast got drug into it. Well, this conversation went on. Their guest, a woman named Tina, the founder and head of Moms for Liberty, located in your neck of the woods, brought up troubles on her turf. She said something about MAGA movement down in southern Florida is having to deal and duck and cover from other factions being supported by previous or present governors.
I don't know. I have no idea what you got to be more specific than that.
Well, I was hoping that just what I said there.
Not enough.
MAGA movement involved in some kind of a feud with other factions down there within the conservative.
Listen, MAGA is based in Florida because the president lives here. Mar-a-Lago's here, right, in Palm Beach, right down. But the Republican Party of Florida, okay, is run by Jeb Bush. Jeb Bush is the party boss of the Florida Republican Party. So there's always problems because Jeb Bush hates President Trump because President Trump humiliated him on the debate. I would argue that Jeb humiliated himself by trying to go up against Trump. But Jeb Bush has a vendetta against the president, and he runs the Republican Party of Florida. A lot of people don't realize that. I mean, the state, we're MAGA, and the voters are MAGA, but the Republican Party establishment is run by Jeb. You understand what I mean? The politicians.
Another podcaster was hoping that someday there would be this, and I'm going to quote him, a war of the roses between the Bush family and the Trump family for control of the party down in...
Well, what's going on, I don't know who all these people are, and they're talking in vague... It sounds like a lot of times there's people that do shows, they don't know what to say, or they have nothing to talk about, and they just make stuff up. You know, the Bush wing of the Republican Party nationally is thinking they're going to be able to take over the party, okay, when Trump's second term is over, and they're making a move. I've been talking about the last couple of weeks the Bring Back Bush campaign, of which the Seditious Six in that video was a part of. The assassination of Charlie Kirk was a part of. This thing with Marjorie Taylor Greene's a part of it. Yeah, the Bushes are, and the people around them are making a move to come back. But my goodness, I mean, they've been gone from power for a long time. A long time.
As far as I'm concerned, bring back Bush, that'd be like barfing and eating.
Let me tell you, Jeb Bush was a very good governor. He broke the teachers union. When he ran for re-election, was it real? It had to be re-election when Janet Reno ran. I can't remember which election it was, but the teachers union of Florida took a mortgage out on their office building to raise money for the Democrat to beat. I can't remember what the guy's name was, to try to beat Jeb. He broke the teachers union. He was a very good governor, but he had convinced himself that it was his time to be the nominee and be president, and Trump stopped him, and he just can't get over it.
Well, was that election where Janet Reno did want to run, and then she had that falling down?
Janet Reno she lost the primary to a guy that I never heard of, and I can't remember his name. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
He was sick with something.
Yeah, she did have something. I can't remember what it was. Yeah. Yeah. We had her on the show a couple times. Yeah. And Janet Reno, I remember what she did is she bought an old beat up red pickup truck, and she drove it across Florida from campaign stop to campaign stop in her pickup truck. Yeah, it was ridiculous. I saw her once in downtown Fort Lauderdale. It was so long ago, there was no YouTube and stuff. If it was now, I'd make a whole YouTube video on her truck. Anyway, all right, got to run. Appreciate the call. You're on the air. What's your name? It is Open Phone Friday. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian, Vincent Wellington.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, I was calling it all this conservative movement clashing and all this stuff going on the online. It's pretty crazy that they drug it out this far from Charlie Kirk's death and put this shadow over this whole trial. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I was just calling in to get my voice out there that, Candace Owens was never really MAGA. She was just a clout chaser, from my opinion. And regardless of what she felt about Charlie, regardless if she was really his best friend in the beginning or however that really unfolded, to me, it doesn't matter. Now we start to see these lines that we would have never saw before if it wasn't for MAGA and President Trump.
Well, here's the thing with the new media, right? Now, and again, I still stick with Tucker Carlson as CIA, just like his dad, okay, and Nick Fuentes and all that. But Candace Owens, see, with the new media, there's a lot of positives to it. I can't even hear myself with the noise there. Okay, can you hear me? Okay, that's okay. That's okay. here's one of the problems with the new media. Okay, there's a lot of benefits to it, but one of the negatives is they're out of control, right? They don't have anybody that they answer to, like there's no, now that Candace has left the Daily Wire, she's not accountable to anyone, and sometimes you need people to say, oh, you shouldn't do that. You know, Steve and I do that sometimes. You know, like we'll talk and I'll say, you shouldn't do that. What are you doing that for? You know, or he'll say that to me. You know, she doesn't have anybody to hold her accountable, and she's a crazy person and she's out of control. And when she first started this rhetoric with her anti-Semitism a year or so ago, I told you guys then, I said she will do herself in because she's going to get more and more wrapped up in these conspiracy things, and eventually she's going to go over the edge, and that's what she's done.
Well, she's imploding on camera now. I mean, if you don't come with facts and evidence and real proof, then nobody's going to take you legitimately serious, and none of these people have, and they're talking out of whatever conspiracy mind they have, and a lot of them want to be first. That's why they get it so far gone wrong. Is because they want to be first.
Well, and there's a drug. You know, after the break, I will share with you how much Candace Owens is making on her YouTube videos every month. And you get, I've got it here. I'll look it up. I've got a way to look it up. I'll look it up during the break, and after the break, I'll tell you. And that's a drug. Okay, and what that drug does is she wants to keep it going. Stay tuned after the break. When I tell you how much she makes every month on YouTube, you'll be shocked. All right, I got to run though, but I appreciate the call. All right, we're running. All right. Oh, let's check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. So one of the most common questions that we get asked when we're talking about estate planning with clients is the differences between a will and a trust. And a lot of people think that if you have a will, that will help you avoid probate, which is exactly incorrect answer. A will is your ticket to probate, whereas a trust, as long as you create it and fund it with your assets, will help you avoid probate. A will only becomes effective at death, so therefore it doesn't help you during your lifetime, where a trust, which is called a revocable living trust, helps you during your lifetime. So when you're incapacitated, a will's not going to help you, but a trust does. Because the people that you name, your successor trustees of the trust, the people who will step into your shoes, can step right in, take over, take care of you financially, instead of having to go to court. And the court process during your lifetime is called guardianship. And so the trust is going to help you avoid both guardianship and probate. And all of those are court processes, which means you hire an attorney, you spend a lot of money on attorneys and court costs and other costs, time-consuming, public, dealing with a judge making decisions, and it's just a huge hassle for the people that you love. So that's why people do revocable living trusts.
Absolutely. And, you know, one thing we talk about a lot, Attorney Barry Siegel, is you talk, well, make sure your trust is funded, everything is in the trust, and nothing goes through probate. But one thing, too, is, you know, revocable living trust. This means that, you know, people can make changes at any time. Maybe all of a sudden they don't want to leave money to a particular person or something. And people can make, once they do the revocable living trust, they're not locked in. They can make changes all the time if they want, right?
Yeah, you literally could change it every day if you wanted to. I don't recommend.
No, you don't recommend your clients do that, but you could, yeah.
Yeah. So it's flexible enough where you can make changes anytime you need to.
Yeah, it's amazing. Listen, give the Siegel Law Group a call. Make sure you mention you heard Attorney Barry Siegel on the Steve Kane Show, and you can take advantage of the no-charge in-office consultation. The number is toll-free, 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Barry, have a great weekend. We'll talk next week. All right, take care. Do we have a recorded spots now or not? Yeah, okay. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now.
Yeah, after the break, I'll tell you how much she makes a month. Candace Owens. I got it right here in front of me.
If you're dreaming Caribbean, including our 10th annual cruise in March. Every cruise on Celebrity Beyond is unforgettable. Every detail is taken care of, and you'll enjoy all-inclusive fares, world-class restaurants, and top-quality beverages that redefine indulgence. Relax in the retreat, your own private resort within a resort, or unwind on the Retreat Sun Deck with panoramic ocean views. You can pamper yourself in Aqua Class, where 5-star spa experiences will melt your stress away. From the lively martini bar to the breathtaking sunset bar, every space on board Celebrity Beyond is designed to inspire and delight, all backed by Celebrity's unmatched service. Call Cruise and Travel Depot today at 561-244-5779. That's 561-244-5779 to book all your celebrity vacations, because when it comes to luxury at sea, on board Celebrity Beyond, nothing comes close.
This is Mark Laporta, son of Tom Laporta, proud second-generation owner of Laporta Roofing. As a military veteran who served in the Army after 9/11, I've brought the same dedication and discipline to our family business. At Laporta Roofing, we've been serving our community for nearly 4 decades, and we're committed to continuing that legacy of excellence. Our team specializes in all types of roofing systems, from shingles to tile, slate, metal, and flat roofs. We're the go-to experts for single-family homes, HOA communities, and condo associations. What sets us apart is our unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. I've personally implemented systems to ensure you receive the best in customer service and workmanship. Don't miss out on our limited time offer for a free roof inspection. Call us now at 954-604-4602 or visit us at laportaroofing.com. Trust the experts who have been protecting homes like yours for generations. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at True Oldies FLA.
Alrighty, we're back. Calls on hold, stand by. There's 2 openings on the board at 888-465-2631. It is open phones, open Mega Mike Friday, as you can tell. The show prep's up to you guys, but so what's going on with Candace Owens, and I mentioned a lot of it's money, and it's like a drug, and I'm going to tell you how much she makes a month and a year off of her podcast. This does not include sponsorships and live endorsements and commercials that she does. This is just for the views that she gets on her podcast, okay? This is just the views she gets on her podcast. This does not include commercials and things like that, okay? Candace Owens earns $241,000 a month. You heard me right, $241,000 a month. Just on views. That is not any commercial she does. So she makes money on top of that. So she is earning $241,000 a month. Now, I'm never one to attack anyone for making money, and you'll never hear me apologize for making money, but she has, if you remember, she was working for the Daily Wire. She was not on her own very long, and she went to work for the Daily Wire. She started this anti-Semitic thing, and then she got on this on the French thing, and then she got on this Charlie Kirk thing. And what Candace Owens does every day, I promise you, is goes to look at what I just looked at, and she's, to find out how much she's making still each month. And she wants to maintain that. And she maintains that by being nuts. $241,000 a month. That's that's right. That's $2.8 million a year. And, I have a lot of people that listen to me. I told you guys, I am ranked 150th. The 150th podcast in America. And I know people don't think, oh, wow, 150th, so what? On YouTube, on Spotify and Apple Podcast alone, there's 10 million podcasts. So to be 150 is pretty high up. And I have 3+ million people that listen to me every month, right? Candace Owens had 60 million in the last 30 days listen to her. And the month's not over yet. 60 million. Okay? And I get between 3 to 4 million a month, you know, and don't try to do the math on what people earn because it's different based on a lot of things, right? Because, you know, if you do the math, you might think you can figure out what I earn. It won't work out. It differs on other things. But she makes $241,000 a month on her podcast without the commercials, and she does commercials. So she's and since she has 60 million people who watch this month, those are selling for a lot of money. So that's without the commercials. That's $241,000 a month because I have no idea or any way to find out how much people pay her for commercials. You know, the endorsements that she does. So that's what this is all about. It's a drug. You know, it's a drug, and she's like a tweaker. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, Lou in Western Pennsylvania.
Hey, Lou, what's up?
I have an idea that I think you are definitely worthy of. Would you consider interviewing President Trump?
What kind of question is that?
Oh, Brian, I think you've earned it.
You know, there's only one problem I would have with interviewing President Trump. And there's another problem that I'm not going to share with you guys on the air. I've told people this on the cruise, by the way. If you go on the cruise, you get all the insight. But what could I ask President Trump that he hasn't been asked 10,000 times? What would be like, what could I do that would make it like a special standout interview? Other than the worship that I would do and all of that. You know what I mean? It's a difficult interview. I wouldn't want to do it and it be mediocre.
Well, I would have to think on exactly on that, but you know, you've definitely earned it. And you know, these other people, they seem to go into an interview with him with some angle, whereas you wouldn't do that. You would just be honest, open right from the start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Just a thought for you, buddy.
Okay. Why, do you have some contact? You're going to set it up? You can, I guess. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Captain White. How's it going, Brian?
You're a real captain?
Captain White. You remember me? I called in earlier.
No. What are you a captain of? What are you a captain of? Captain of a boat?
A couple months ago, Captain White.
No, I'm missing the joke here. Is there a joke? Is there some millennial Gen Z joke that I'm missing?
You just don't remember me. Okay, well,
I talk to a lot of people, and what kind of captain are you?
Yeah, we already talked about this. I just wanted to say thank you, and I appreciate what you're talking about.
Now you're trying to make me sound like I have Alzheimer's. What kind of captain are you? What kind of captain are you?
Definitely not a boat captain. You already told me I wasn't.
Oh yeah, I do. I do remember. I asked you a question about a boat, a very simple one, like it had something to do with port or starboard, which is which, right or left, and you got it wrong. Yeah, so you're not a boat captain. No, I don't remember you. I remember that moment, you know. Yeah. But I'll tell you this. I'm gonna give you some advice. I learned this long ago, and this may be hard for people to believe. But when I was younger, I did some things on the air that were quite embarrassing, and I've been embarrassed by others and embarrassed myself more than once on the air. And what I learned is that when you make a fool out of yourself on the air, don't keep going back to it. It just reminds people of what a stupid person you are. You know, just kind of move on. Nobody would have remembered that you lied, and you know, because you did say you were a boat captain, or I wouldn't have asked you the port or starboard question. So you lied. So, but nobody would have remembered you. So why'd you call today?
Just calling to say what's up.
Hey, okay, what's up?
How's it going?
It's going. It's going. What's going on with you? What are you doing this weekend?
Just relaxing, man. You called me.
Yeah, no. But how's that different than what you do during the week?
Just relaxing, hanging out. You know.
Yeah. At what point do you go to work?
Yeah, every day. I'm a mechanic. I'm an electrician.
Oh, you're an electrician. The last call, you were a boat. Now, see, I'm not going to ask you any electrician questions because what you learned from the last call was this. Before you call up with your fake job and all of that, read up on Wikipedia so you could answer some questions. Yeah. So you could answer some questions. So you call in and try to redeem yourself. Hey, listen, you suck as a caller. You've got nothing to say. Why do you even call? Why do you call? Why would you call me? I mean, you've got nothing to say. There's no content. Okay, there we go. All right, there we go. The delay's on, Mike? Okay, all right. Okay. Oh, my goodness. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Our number's toll free. 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. I want to remind you guys, Friendly Tire in Margate, you can get new tires out the door and on the road as low as $75 a tire. And I want to emphasize, these are on common tire sizes that are on some of the most popular vehicles on the road today. And you know what those are, so you can guess. These are, I want to emphasize, these are not like Fiat size tires. These are regular size tires that are on some of the most popular vehicles on the road today, as low as $75. Those are brand new tires out the door and on the road. Because remember, Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire, doesn't charge you to mount the tire, or even dispose of your own tires, okay? Or your old tires. So it's a pretty good deal, right? As low as $75 on new tires. He has good used tires as low as $35 a tire, and that's out the door and on the road price too. So give him a call. Here's his number, 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. That's 954-977-9445. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're going to really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott on the radio reminding you that your favorite oldies are back on the air right after.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on? All right.
Cool. Candace Owen is kicking ass, huh?
Oh my gosh, $241,000 a month, and that's without the commercials that she does.
I've seen her on.
It's a lot of money.
Fox many times, and I thought her and Charlie Kirk were like.
Yeah, they were a couple.
Were they?
I think so.
I thought so.
I think so. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I think
They
so.
seem pretty tight.
Yeah, and she's so bitter, with the widow.
Oh, is that what it is?
But I mean, that's a lot of money.
She went off the deep end.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Wow, crazy stuff. What's new? Anything?
Not much. Are we going to do that after?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah.
Remember, everybody can hear you.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
No,
Always got to tell
today-
people.
Today I wanted to talk about the Federal Reserve.
Okay.
How important it is.
Okay.
It's to the end of the year here. Now take advantage of it.
Okay.
Rates are going to go down.
Okay. And I had one thing I wanted to bring up to you too about it.
Cool, cool.
All right. Oh, here's the mic.
On the turnpike northbound at Lakewood Road, there's a backup due to a crash. Spot something on the road, call the traffic tip line.
I do not want to walk out with this. I know you won't let me, but.
That's your traffic brought to you by.
Yeah, Steve and I, we used to do this cable access show, and the guests were mic'd up, but they had wires on the mics. They didn't have. It was a long time
Yeah, I
ago.
remember. I remember. Yeah.
And this one guy, he got so mad, and this we're filming, and he stormed off. But he had the mic up on.
Oh, wow.
So he got up and it pulled him back into the chair. It was hilarious. And of course, we put it on TV.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh my God. Yeah, Bob Kuntz was the guy's name. Oh my God. It was hilarious.
Oh, man. Hey, we had a good time at the party, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It was fun. I'm glad you came. I appreciate
I did not know those were all listeners when I got there. I would have
Oh, yeah.
talked if I knew. You didn't tell me. I didn't know.
Well, we'll do another one.
Yeah.
No, everybody loved you, man.
Yeah, they're very nice.
Yeah. Actually, my kids, think about it, my kids are in their 30s, and they said, Dad, your clients are so nice. They got along with everybody. They're hanging out.
Yeah.
We all hung out for till I don't know, 9 o'clock, 9:30, which is
And
past my bedtime.
it's a really diverse group of people.
Very much so. I want to get Steve, the police officer, on to do an endorsement.
That's what I was going to ask you about, actually. I'll bring
Great
that up
guy.
to you, then we can get into
He
the
is
thing.
so cool. I call him Serpico.
Yeah.
And he went over. He was undercover for 15
He looks like
years.
he's still undercover.
He's still undercover, man. Yeah. He's got a lot of stories too. you
Yeah.
know. Yeah. He was also in the what do you call it? The Coast Guard.
What's that?
He was also in the Coast Guard.
Oh.
So he's got all these stories about a Coast Guard. Being in the Coast Guard.
You never know in Florida who's listening, because everybody lives in Florida, especially here. You never know who's here. You meet a lot of interesting people.
I listen to their backgrounds, man. I've met so many different.
It's amazing.
Oh,
It's
God.
amazing.
give you a price over the phone. I knew and used.
Everybody say, "Oh, you got to get doctors and lawyers." My clients aren't doctors and lawyers for the most part.
And you know, doctors and lawyers are not that financially stable a lot of times either. Especially. All right, and Jupiter Joe Thomas is in studio. Hey, Joe.
Hey.
You know, I was talking with one of our listeners who's a client of yours, and this was an amazing thing. This was someone, they have a pension with it's a city pension. They're a retired police officer.
Yes, sir.
And they got a municipal pension, I guess from the city they were in. And he's a client of yours now. And he's got a great pension, but he retired, I don't know, 20 years ago. So however long ago it was great money 25 years ago, the pension, but people are living longer now, and he's lived beyond the cost of living that the pension expected. And he came to you, got an annuity to supplement his pension.
Yeah, that particular gentleman was making, I'll just give numbers because he's a good guy, he knows me. In fact, he's going to do an endorsement for us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was making about $60,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
And after he met me and we sat down, we did some planning, he now has guaranteed income of another $60,000.
Oh, my goodness.
So he's living a life. He's retired, and he's got about $120,000 a year coming in with no worries.
Yeah.
Mailbox money.
That's amazing.
That's the value of annuities and the income avenues that these can do for you.
And you know, I talked to him. I didn't know he's going to do a commercial for us.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Okay, because he's definitely a character.
Oh, he's a pisser.
He's a character. This guy. He's a retired police officer.
Right. Undercover
cop, and he looks like he's still undercover. I told Joe.
I call him Serpico.
He does. He's like Serpico. Yeah. He's like Serpico. But you know what he told me was this, and I've heard this from other listeners too. When you say mailbox money, and he's like, and it comes every month, and I don't have to do anything for it.
Right.
You know, and that's amazing.
So I wanted to talk today about the Federal Reserve. I know it's kind of boring to some people, but first of all, this guy shouldn't have this much power. Trump happens to be 100% right. I mean, he's got too much power. I mean, he tells everybody he's not going to raise rates, and then he lower rates, then he lowers rates. I mean, it's just the opposite of what he's
And he doesn't know what he's doing. I don't know if you saw this, Joe, but a couple months ago, President Trump really humiliated him. He went to the building they're building, and it's a financial disaster. If he knew business, this building construction project wouldn't be such a disaster.
Was it $2 or $3 billion? I mean, it's insane.
Yeah.
But interest rates going down are good for mortgages, but they're not good for retirees. Because,
really? Why is that?
Well, because interest rates in your savings accounts, checking account, money markets, CDs are all going to come down.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I've been telling people this for a while, and it's starting to happen. So where you were getting 5% a year ago,
you're
going to be getting 3%. And so understand that we can still lock you in. I have rates that are in the 5.5% range. So it's a big deal to think about moving money now. If you have money sitting in a checking account, savings account, doing nothing, why not get 5.5% guaranteed interest on it?
And the big drop they're saying is going to happen after the first of the year because we're going to get the new Fed chair, and that's going to be the deal to get the job, is to drop the interest rates by whatever Trump wants them to drop them by.
They have to drop. I mean, who can buy a home at 8% interest? I mean, I know it's now 6.5%, it's probably going to go to 6.25%, but still 6%.
And car loans are crazy too.
The average car loan, we do a lot of research on this. This is our the money show, right? $800 a month is an average payment.
Get out of town.
$800 a month.
What, they got Porsches?
And it's ridiculous. No, it's like a regular car. You know,
really?
My daughter got sucked into that, and she couldn't wait to get out of the loan. I told her to pay it off. And,
why didn't she take you when she bought the car?
I know, kids. What are you going to do?
You know, that's an interesting thing, because a lot of times what you talk a lot about with annuities is no matter what goes on in the financial markets, it doesn't affect your nest egg is safe, and your monthly income stream is solid. And we don't really think about interest rates. We think about, I guess most people think about the stock market.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, most people come into my office and they hear you and I speaking about the bonus, and they love a bonus. The guy said to me yesterday, he said, "Now, are you sure I'm going to walk out of here with this 10% bonus?" I said, "Absolutely, guaranteed."
Yeah.
Now, I don't use the word guaranteed unless I can. Guaranteed's a big word. So when you buy an annuity with us, it's guaranteed. And that's because of the claims paying ability, the insurance company, all those sort of things.
And I have heard from multiple listeners in this audience who have told me about the bonus. They love it. They're like high-fiving me. I mean, don't high-five me, high-five Joe. But no, it is. I don't know why everyone's not in it. I know you're a financial advisor, and you recommend that people are diverse, but I like a sure bet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I like not to worry. I like not, and I know I have so many friends that have their financial accounts on their phone. They look at them and they're depressed some days. Some days they're feeling good, and then something will happen one day and it's a bad week. You know what I mean?
Well, let me equate something. If you've ever gone to the Hard Rock and you play blackjack, I can do something for you that the Hard Rock can't. That's number one. You're either going to get a 21 every time, and you're going to get blackjack, or you're going to get a push and you don't lose anything.
Yeah.
And that's how our annuities work. You either win or you stay even.
And you know, the other thing about annuities, okay, because, and this is something I've learned from you. People that, I don't know, are you invested in an annuity? Do you buy an annuity? What's the term you use?
It's really, you're buying an annuity.
You're buying an annuity.
Right.
People that buy annuities are from such a diverse financial background. Obviously, there's wealthy people that are high net income earners or have retired and are wealthy. But here we're talking about a guy that's got a city pension.
Yeah.
And you tell me, and you've told me about people that the woman who had retired from Publix. So you know, people that are really in very diverse income levels.
Yeah, we had a gentleman the other day from FP&L, and his thing with talking to us, he just said, I want to make sure I can retire. Joe, I've been told by this guy, that guy, my sister, my brother, but I want to ask you, can I retire? And we did the math, and I said, yeah, you're going to get about $100,000 a year. Oh. He said, that's more than I'm making, and that's with no risk. This is guaranteed. That's amazing. More than he's making. Yeah. So he's actually losing money working. He needs to retire and he needs to do it. But let's end on this note though, because what you wanted to talk about today, which is very important, that now's the time to call you because you want to transfer if you're in a CD or one of these accounts. You can go through what they are. You want to transfer your money, which you can handle all this for them without any effort, into an annuity before the interest rates drop. Let's talk about that. Let's end on that because this is a very important point. I don't want it lost. It's a big deal right now. Rates are going to come down. That means right now you can lock in higher rates. We have 5.5% fixed for 5 years. That's a big number compared to the bank at 3%. And what are, other than CDs, what are some of the things that when the rates drop next year, which we know they dropped a little bit the other day, but they're going to drop a lot next year. What are some of the vehicles people have their money in that they're not going to earn as much? Right. IRAs, 401ks. 401k. A lot of people have protected their money in IRAs and they're earning 2%. Literally 2%. I can name the companies, but I don't want to. So if you're getting 2% or 3% and you want to earn 5.5%, or you want to get a 10% bonus and have an income annuity, that's what we can help you with. Well, listen, guys, I'm going to give you Joe's number. It is a no-charge consultation, and of course, everyone's situation is unique, and whatever your unique situation is, Joe's going to put together a custom proposal based on your situation and your goals. The number is 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999, and online, jupiterjoe.com. All right, Joe, we'll see you soon. Thank you. All right, take care. If you're on a hold, stand by. Our number is 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes, Jonathan from Ohio. Is that a serious question, or are you just like pulling my leg? Isn't it pretty obvious? Okay, if you don't, the mainstream media, you don't watch it. If they have no viewers. If you don't, well, so you are watching it. See, the mainstream media. Hold on. The mainstream media isn't the problem. You're the problem because you're consuming it. Right? When you turn it on, you're giving them views. Well, then you're the problem. You're the solution. Stop watching it. Don't turn it on. If listen, this is a MAGA country, right? President Trump won a national election, won all the battleground states. If every MAGA person turned off liberal news, they'd have no viewers. Yeah, but you're supporting them. Well, you know, there's always going to be Democrats. Like what?
Because they are Democrats. The illegals are Democrats. All right, hey, listen, I gotta run. But if you want to do something, if you don't want them to be on, just don't watch them. All right. Now I want to talk about coastal weight loss secret. You know, I was so expecting to gain a couple of pounds over Thanksgiving. I did not gain an ounce. I did not gain an ounce, and I ate what I would normally eat over Thanksgiving. Coastal Weight Loss Secret's amazing, and I want to emphasize that with Coastal Weight Loss Secret, there's no pills, no prescriptions, no shots, no injections. I was telling people earlier, and I'm going to tell you guys again, go look at a recent picture or video of Kelly Osbourne. Okay? Go look at Ryan Seacrest, or this one is a tough one, I know. The most recent Michelle Obama photo shoot, the one where she was wearing the jeans. They all have that Ozempic face. And what they do with the Ozempic face, they look like Karen Carpenter. Okay? It doesn't look healthy. You don't want to look like that. You want to look like me. Natural, great, because I lost the weight naturally with Coastal Weight Loss Secret, over 35 pounds. And if I didn't tell people every day, all the time, you would have just said, wow, you look great. You wouldn't have known what I did, which was called Coastal Weight Loss Secret. When these people that are taking these shots and pills, everybody knows they're on it. They say, oh, they've got the Ozempic face, right? How many times have you heard that? Even if it's not Ozempic, it could be another drug. Ozempic's like the generic. You don't want to look like that. You want to look great. You want to look natural. Call Coastal Weight Loss Secret right now and schedule your no-charge consultation. Remember, they can help you no matter where you're located in America. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. Oh, it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the final gold and precious metals report of the week. William Youngerman, how the metals ending the week?
An ounce. It's nearly doubled now. Palladium up $34 right now at $1,513 the ounce. So the metals are doing very fine.
Wow.
And
wow, that's amazing. Let me ask you, William Youngman, we're at a record. Did you say we hit a record high for silver? Oh. Is this a good time if people have a safe deposit box overflowing with silver? Is this a good time to convert silver into gold?
I don't think so. I don't. Some legs to it right now.
Really?
There's a lot of people forecasting, and not necessarily wrongly, that silver's going to see $100 an ounce.
Oh well, no, do not.
Or is more valuable than a barrel of oil.
Wow.
There's a lot of buying going.
Wow, that's amazing. So you're recommending buy and hold on silver at a record high, and gold at record highs. That's something. And those of you that have listened to William Youngerman's report over the years, you're not one to just throw out numbers and make predictions. Your predictions are very accurate. All right, take William Youngerman's advice. Buy and hold both on gold and silver. I thought for sure when I heard record high, you'd say, yeah, good time. But no, hold, that's great. We got more ways. I tell you, those ounce coins and those 90% silver half dollars and quarters and dimes, what an awesome investment. Give William Youngerman a call. He opens up at 10 a.m. at 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. Stop in at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca. on the first floor of the Bank of America building, which is immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto. You can't miss it. And you can find both his address and phone number on his website, WilliamYungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk on Monday. All right, take care. Do we have recorded spots, Mike? Okay, we're good to go. All right, how'd that happen? That's amazing. All right, appreciate it. All right, if you'd like to call in, there's a few minutes left at 888-465-2631. I have become a big fan of the Will Cain show on Fox. And you guys watch Will Cain on Fox? He's really good. He replaced Cavuto. And Cavuto was the worst. I could not stand Cavuto. Nobody misses Cavuto. No one. But he had Stephen Miller on. And listen to this. This is Stephen Miller, who's the Deputy Chief of Staff. I'm wondering if Stephen Miller will be JD's Chief of Staff, since he is President Trump's Deputy Chief of Staff. But you know what I'd like to see Stephen Miller as? He may want to be Chief of Staff. I'd like to see him be the White House press spokesperson at some point. He is so good. Or at least do one conference a week. He fillets them. But anyway, here he is. The Somali operation in Minnesota looks to be a nationwide network across, I don't know, 3, 5, maybe close to 10 states. This is Stephen Miller on Fox yesterday with Will Cain.
We mask the impact of immigration every public policy issue we discuss. We talk about test scores. Well, if you subtract immigration out of test scores, all of a sudden our test scores skyrocket. If you subtract immigration out of healthcare, all of a sudden we don't have near the size of the healthcare challenges our country faces. If you subtract immigration out of public safety, all of a sudden we don't have violent crime in so many of our cities. Issue after issue, we talk about these things that they just happen to us. The schools just suddenly fail. Violent crime just suddenly explodes. The deficit just suddenly skyrockets. These are a result of social policy choices that we made through immigration.
Yeah, and the it's not just Somalis. We're focusing on that because there's been so much fraud. But they're across 10 states. Minnesota, Ohio, Washington, California, Georgia, Maine, Nebraska, New York, Virginia, Texas. And, what the Biden administration it looks like they've set up a national crime syndicate of Somalis that are committing fraud with Medicaid, the relief funds and all that. But also what they've done, and it's not just the Somalis they've done this with. What the Biden administration did, the Autopin administration of Biden, what they were doing was sending people into areas to be able to keep and hold either the state or a congressional seat, right? And this, the replacement theory, it is a very, very calculated, a very calculated thing they were doing, and we were saved from it by President Trump. But if we would have, I don't know, if we would not have won this most recent election, the country may not have been able to be saved. The way do you ever watch on election night? They'll call a state or a race, and there's only like 2% of the vote in. They have mathematicians that calculate these things in ways that I cannot understand, but they do. And they've been using those people that do those calculations. They can call a state with 3% of the vote. That's how they decided where to move these so-called refugees, not just Somalis, but all of them in certain areas. It was all about congressional control. And congressional control is how the Electoral College is doled out. Remember, a state's Electoral College votes equal their seats in the House. Okay? And it's very mathematical and scientific what they were doing. But now we find out they have this national criminal fraud syndicate going on. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey, Jerry and Margate. What's up?
You mentioned Steve Will Cain. And he had an interesting segment the other day, about 3 days ago. He had a graph that he put up on was like a chart of the immigration policy over about 6 decades, where he showed that there used to be, we had a lot of immigration from Europe, and that the immigration from Europe has dwindled to just a fraction of what's coming in the country, and most of it's coming from other places and a lot of South American stuff. You might,
well, I don't need to watch. I mean, I like Will Kane. I don't have to watch the segment, but yeah, you're right. And what's happened? It's been going on for a long time, but when things really got amped up was during Obama's 8 years. That's when this really started happening, where people are coming from weird places like Somalia. You know, in 1990, do you know how many Somalians were in Minnesota in 1990? 0. There wasn't a single Somali in the whole state. Now they control the state's politics, right?
Yeah. So he was saying, you know, look at the graph. The data is data, and it's just changing the fabric of our country. And how do you reverse it? I mean, we people from anywhere, but it's
the problem is it's been totally uncontrolled immigration, right? Coming here for no reason at all with no quote. Yeah, there's a big problem. A lot of it is the education system. You know, back in the Clinton era is when they stopped teaching kids in elementary school about the melting pot idea of America. And so what that led to was there's no assimilation by immigrants anymore into American society. Immigrants used to come here, even when I was around, and they came here to be Americans. Now they come here to stay what they are. They come over here to rip us off and stay what they are.
More comment about society, and and then I'll hang up. We need corporal punishment and religion in schools.
You know,
some kind of
corporal punishment, paddling. Did you ever get paddled in school, Mike? No, they didn't do it. Did you ever get paddled in school, caller? Did you ever get paddled? Oh no, we used to have paddlings, and both when I lived in Ohio and when I was in school here in Florida as a kid. And sometimes it was the teacher. The teacher would take you out into the hallway, and they would get another teacher as a witness so they could witness, say there was no abuse, and they would paddle you with a wooden paddle. I got paddled all the time. Sometimes it was 5 whacks. I had the last time I got paddled. By the way, thanks for the call. Was here in Florida. In 8th grade, I went to New River Middle School in Fort Lauderdale. New River Middle School in Fort Lauderdale. And the deans did the paddling there. And it was the last time I got paddled. I got 5 whacks, wooden paddle. And this guy, I can't remember his name. This guy, he loved to do the paddling. He had a paddle with holes in it, drilled into it, big hole, and the idea was it would grab the air and make it worse. And it was wood, and he had burned into it. It said Board of Education into the paddle. I couldn't believe it. Board of Education filled with holes, 5 whacks. You didn't always get 5 whacks. That was the worst. 3 was the standard whacks. And I know people aren't into spanking or hitting kids anymore. But when you had paddling, you didn't have the problems you got now. People that, and I remember when I would get paddled, just like every other kid, you would act like you didn't care, and it was who cares, I'm a tough guy. Everybody, you're crying after you get paddled. It hurt, and you didn't do it again if you could help it. It was paddling was a big deterrent and kept the discipline in schools. It really did, and I remember it. And the first whack you could get by, but that second whack and every whack after that. And I remember the referrals. They had to write you a referral when they paddled you, and it had a box on the official form. This is in Broward County Public Schools. How many whacks they gave you, and they'd have to write the number. And I do believe 5 was the max. But today with DEI and Black Lives Matter, could you imagine a white teacher paddling a black student? They'd be like, oh, the slave plantations and whipping. It was not good. It is the holiday season, Christmas and New Year's, And sadly, this is the deadliest time of the year for heart attacks. According to the American Heart Association, more people die from heart attacks during the last week of December than at any other time of the year, with Christmas Day and New Year's Day being the most deadly dangerous. That's why Life Imaging FLA offers free heart scans with a few minimum requirements valued at $699. When you're there, ask about their full body cancer screening for that ultimate peace of mind. Life Imaging FLA is all about proactive health, saving lives before symptoms even appear. This December, give yourself the gift of health. Schedule your scan today. They have locations in Broward, Dade, and Palm Beach. Okay? And you can also schedule it and bring a family member. Maybe you have somebody in the family that you want to have checked for either the cancer screening or the heart scan, and they're not the kind of they avoid these kind of things. Take them. All right. Pick up your cell phone, call pound 250, and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250 and say free heart scan. Pound 250, say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. All right, well, listen, that's all the time we have for this week. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. My name is Brian Craig. Steve will be back with us on Monday. And you guys, of course, know how to look for me over the weekend. I'll be around over the weekend, too, online. Check me out. Anyway, everyone, have a great weekend. And this is the beginning of the most important midterm election in the history of this country. We're going to be covering it every day here on The Steve Kane Show. God bless America and Donald Trump. See you Monday. All right, guys, listen, if you're new... Sorry for the earthquake. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, okay? I got to get out of the way and make room for the next show, all right? Take care. Thanks for watching.